Hello, everyone, and welcome to Skylands Eternal, Season 1, Episode 2.
Greetings, brethren, sistren, and otherin. Welcome once again. Today on Keen Minds and Ardent Spirits, when last we met, behold a world in fragments. The sages say that long ago our ancestors angered the gods, all of them at once, which is a pretty good trick if you think about it. For our myriad sins, the gods divided the world, setting titanic blocks of geography up into the endless sky. Each Skyland is a cube, 10 miles to a side, by current reckoning, and they're separated from each other by about 2 miles of open air. Below, only a long fall to certain death. And as an added kick in the arse, some trickster god shuffled them around. So you have the glacier next to the tropical forest, next to several blocks of ocean. But the people of New Gaia adapted, as people often do. The new lords and hegemons were those who had the means to project power from one Skyland to the next, to conquer, to assimilate, and in other words, to fly. Airships and conveyances of all kinds ply the skylanes. Our story began last time with a handful of travelers, a motley assortment of folk from the fringes, each traveling to the big city for their own ends, some looking to make a new start, others running from their past, a few trying to make a few coins and see a little more of the world. But our airship, sort of an air bus, really, kind of a budget bus, by the name of the Seahorse, captained by Captain Glada, some sort of goblin type fellow, en route to the big city. They crashed. There was a mishap with the fuel system. It's a kerosene-run hot air balloon with propellers, basically, and when all higgledy-piggledy threw all their fuel overboard, they were not able to maintain height, so they crash-landed in a block of sea called the Forsaken Reach. Luckily for our crew, there are 3 islands on the Reach. Shark Island, Bearhead Island, and Dolphin Island. They made their way for the largest, which was Dolphin. They did have a chance to get a decent look at the landscape coming down in. All of the 3 islands have got some highland areas, trees, jungle, etc., etc. When they made landfall on the western bay of Dolphin Island, which would be here on our map, they did a quick assessment, found out they have about 2 days of food and water, set up camp. They had a watch set, but something snuck into camp, something or things, small humanoids, small feet, snuck in and stole a bunch of metallic, shiny, pretty valuables. Gladys' knife with the seahorse on the hilt, Entropy's jewelry, Nora's locket, Whiskey's belt, and the footprints seem to have come up out of and back into the water. So the next day, a foraging crew went out for general explorations. They discovered, in order, some sea caves, a small creek with a waterfall, very pretty. Above that, some sort of spring, so fresh water is taken care of. Lots of birds, lots of small animals around, so if they wanted to do some hunting, that would be possible. But they also found a shipwreck, and this is an ancient airship wreck. If you want to think, the current setting is like Age of Sail, big 3 masters, 4 masters, 5 masters. This would be just past like a Roman trireme. Very, very, very old vessel. It had apparently tried to clear the highlands here over Dolphin Island, crashed, landed on its side, wedged in between some giant boulders. Looked like it had been there forever, and our intrepid explorers found out that it was very much in use. There was a trodden path to an open hole in the side of the ship. Someone had done some work to reinforce the ship internally, so it would not continue to collapse. Stools, chairs, storage, and shelter for multiple people, done ship-style bunks that fold up into the walls. Somebody has some access to some technology here. They did find sconces for some elemental lights, elemental or alchemical lights. None of those were in evidence. They also found a few kegs of pitch that had been overlooked. And again, our scouts left a little note for whoever was staying there, living there, or basing out of there that your group has got some peaceful intentions. So they headed back to base camp and had another relatively uneventful night. If everyone wants to burn another ration, please. All right. And so we are looking at the continuing adventures of Nora, the architect, traveling to the big city to get some more knowledge and apply their skills. We're looking at Thera, a healer. We're looking at Whiskey, a rancher from out in the dusty steppes, and Lever. Lever is, I believe your folk are called perennials. Is that true?
Yes.
Lever is an intelligent plant who somehow got it in their head that they wanted to make stuff and learn how to make better stuff and otherwise do some good. And then Ern. Ern was a trapper back in the day. Again, being able to hunt small game and maybe bring home some pelts, always good for the pocketbook. All right, so it is daybreak on your next day in the Reach. You've got a couple of mysteries to track down, and your food's running out. So, what do you do?
There we go. Did we ever make it back to camp?
I believe that was the last thing you did prior to end of session.
So I think the first thing we would do is probably share what we found with everyone else, right?
Okay, I do have this is my headcanon. If you don't tell me specifically that you leave something out, oh yeah, the big pile of treasure, yeah, we'll leave that little story out of things. If you don't tell me that you're leaving something out, I'm assuming that the next time you bump into each other, all information is shared. That just makes things faster.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And their other group was the food. We were the exploration. So the other group was the food gathering group. So did they have
Right.
any success left?
That's what I was gonna say. Did we add our rations already to them or no?
Oh, you already found some.
Yeah, because when we went out hunting and gathering, we found. I thought you said we found stuff.
You did.
Where'd my notebook go?
Okay. So yeah, whatever, however many rations you want to add to the pile. If anybody wants to make any attempts to cook a meal as opposed to just chewing on dry old rations and sips of water, you can occasionally stretch your rations. One ration might feed 2 or 3 people, depending on how well you did. I know that the healer has got some cooking type ability, just rendering down stalks and seeds and roots for their medical value. Whiskey might have a few recipes for beef jerky in there somewhere, but anybody who wants to give a try at cooking a tasty meal, just let me know.
I'll go ahead and cook.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and give me a wisdom roll, please.
One moment. Why is my character sheet being weird?
Uh-oh.
There it is.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, you cook a lovely meal, delicately spiced. Absolutely doesn't use a whole lot of your stores. Oh, okay. So you can actually generate an extra 2 rations for the crew as long as they eat it now. So go ahead and add that to your stores. Again, you do have the means to run up to the spring or the waterfall and get more water whenever you decide to. And anybody else doing anything first thing?
So we know there was a group of people that were out and we ran away from them last time. If I
Yeah,
get
and
pictures.
also
Mhm.
I was gonna also ask if the night went uneventfully in terms of any belongings or anything else from the camp potentially going missing.
No, you were fine. We don't have to roll for a make camp at this point. Is anybody injured? I don't think anybody was.
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, Captain Gletta is very interested in finding out what happened to his stolen dagger, and I'm sure the rest of you who lost stuff are also missing it. The tide has washed away all of the footprints down toward the shore. So the ones that you have here are a little older and a little drier. Anybody doing any other explorations, preparations, building shelter, finding materials?
I
Well,
think
Mm,
I was going to investigate. We saw something in the water. I was gonna like float over there and figure out what that was.
Okay. Um, saw something in the water.
and since we're
Don't
back
know what
now,
it
I
was.
think they had some difficulty last time, but since we're back now, can we get some like vines from trees so that the water doesn't pull us too far away from shore?
Sure, sure. So basically, you're just moving. The ship is at like a three-quarter tilt to provide cover from the rain. Again, apparently in this climate, it rains about once a day, at least in this season. Were you trying to get the ship farther up away from the water?
No, we were
I think the
investigating.
suggest this
I'm
I
sorry.
think the suggestion was to try and pull down vines in order to tether them as they swam out to look in the water. Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, okay.
Because we're trying to go into the water because we are still looking for our missing belongings. We didn't find them in the
Gotcha.
place that had residents.
Gotcha. Okay. So, since you're in sort of a sheltered bay here, the waves are not particularly large. There is a breakwater, but it's significantly out toward the mouth of the bay. So you're not going to be dealing with oceanic waves in here. And it's actually relatively shallow. If you want to tether up just so that you can kind of go fishing for sharks with your compatriots here, that works. Yes, you find some suitable vines. Um, Again, between the five of you, you've got enough like hand tools, pocket knives, hatchets, that sort of thing, to make some makeshift ropes. Also, Gletta says that there's a jury locker on the ship that's got some measures of things like ropes and um, you know uh, small tools. So if you wanted to use that, as long as you can either give it back when you're done or replace it if it gets ruined.
All right.
Anything to get us off of here. All right. So who is actually going to go looking for um, signs and portents out in the bay?
Me,
I might try.
because I float.
And if we don't try, if we cannot find anything, then perhaps we can make traps for tonight to make sure no more stuff gets stolen.
Excellent, excellent ideas. Okay, um, so those wandering out into the water to look for things, if I could get anybody looking, you can do this a couple of different ways. This is going to be a discern realities, which is based on wisdom. If you want it's probably going to be whoever's got the best wisdom who's out looking. If you want to roll to assist that person, that's called it's just a bolster roll, basically. If you have any bonds with any of the other people in the on the boat currently, you can add the number of bonds you have with that person to the roll. Excuse me.
What is your wisdom modifier?
My character sheet is not showing up in D&D Beyond in the
Oh no.
Roll20 at
Oh
all.
no. That's Mazkey, the librarian, right?
Mesky? No, entropy.
Entropy.
Why? I don't know why.
Oh, what happened to entropy? Let's see. And I don't
I
have
guess I was
any.
mind controlled.
A couple
And
of the character
it got
names are
reset.
weird.
Got
Oh,
reset.
this is not the same. The character sheet's blank.
Oh, entropy librarian. Yeah, it is. That's weird.
So I
Yeah,
suppose
so
we
is
will.
Owens.
I'll discern realities at a later time, and I'll just assist you. How about that?
Works for me.
What is your wisdom there, entropy?
It has been completely reset, so might have to revisit that at a later time.
Okay. So, yeah. All right.
Messed up.
Excellent.
I believe my wisdom is +1.
Okay, beautiful. Well, Lever just maxed out the roll for discern realities, which is nice. So discern realities gives you a option for 3 questions since you rolled so well. Those 3 questions are going to appear should have already been on your character sheet, but are not. So here they are. Questions. What happened here recently? What's about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or valuable to me? Who's really in control? Or what here is not what it appears to be. And you get 3 of those, and you don't have to pick them all in advance. Sometimes an answer to one will point you toward a different one. So what's your first question?
What should I be on the lookout for?
What should you be on the lookout for? Well, you did see footy prints coming in, and you did see footy prints going out. So you're looking for something, looking for signs that something has been around here. What you do find is underneath the low tide mark, basically where the once you get past there's a line of rocks. Once you get past that, it's still muddy out here. You see signs that several feet were pressed into mud and then gave a strong push. Okay. You think you're looking at some 2-legged individuals pushing off into deeper water. So, and you don't see any more footprints after that. So what you're probably on the lookout for is some sort of aquatic humanoid type. Next question. Oh, by the way, any of these questions that you act on these answers, you get a +1 forward to the next action you take on that. If you want to gift those answers to anybody else, they could get a +1 on it as well. Or they could get one instead of you, basically.
Okay. What here is not what it appears to be.
What here is not what it appears to be. What here is not what it appears to be. Here is not what it appears to be. You do find something else of concern, shall we say. There's a part of the undersea here where you're looking down in, the water's very clear. There's a part on the ocean floor about 10, 15 feet down that's somehow protected from the tides. It's just, and the mud is settled at the bottom there, but you're looking down at something that looks like a very large footprint. Okay, like very large footprint. You're looking at a large padded non-humanoid foot. Let's see. Let's see. They have got. You're seeing signs of 4 or 5 toes. It's 4 pads. And there's some signs that there might be some kind of webbing between the 4 toes. But this is a large, large, large footprint. And again, it's pressed into the mud. It was either something heavy enough to impact the mud even 10 or 15 feet below water, or something pushed off and up from there. Not quite sure which, but it's big.
Okay.
And your third question.
Well, it's really starting to seem like we aren't alone.
What here is useful or valuable to me?
Okay, useful or valuable. All right, so your options are useful, valuable, or informational. Which one would you like?
Informational.
Informational. Okay. Informational. There, on one of the rocks here, again, there's a slope of the bay and it drops a little and then slope and then drops. There's some fairly sizable rocks there. You think you see something on the side of one of those. You're able to force yourself underwater, or floating little turnip, and there's writing, glyph, rune, something. It's in a. It's obviously, if you touch it, it's sticky. If you can imagine an ink made out of something dark to make the ink, but instead of it being soupy so that you can write with it, it's more sticky. Like if you made ink out of like tar or pitch or glue, it's almost like what do they call that? Puff paint. Basically, someone has written on this stone some symbols. They're not symbols that are immediately decipherable to you, but they do show the sign of an intelligent creature put up a sign here. Could be, I mean, some of the shapes are kind of spiky and dangerous looking. Could be a warning. Could be, I don't know. It's a collection of currently unintelligible runes to you.
Okay.
All right.
Is it something I can carry?
No, the stone is probably 4 times your size.
We're not going to have a swole plant boy?
No, but you've got a pretty good intelligence, don't you?
Entropy is like,
I'm
like arms are
decent at
breaking just
intelligence.
looking at the stone.
Yeah, intelligence is my highest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'd be able to memorize. I mean, you'd be able to memorize this long enough to copy it someplace
I'm
up on
sure
the
with
beach.
our intelligences combined, because I think we might be the 2 highest intelligence characters. I'm
Might
sure.
be. Okay. So, what do you do?
I guess I'm gonna go back to shore and let everyone know what I found.
Beautiful. All right. So, yes, lever draws. Oh, hey, you're a tinker. You're engineer minded. You're precision. Yeah, you've got this memorized. It's like, okay, so it's a sort of a circle here, and there's some spiky bits. And again, entropy. This is obviously. It looks. It's obviously either an important symbol or some kind of language.
But
There's
it's
nothing.
likely not like a room.
Well, if it was, it would have gone off when he touched it or looked at it.
Oh.
So if it's a rune, it's not currently
Active.
It's not currently activated. Go ahead and give me a spout lore.
All right.
Let me see if we can get anything on that.
7.
And it's 7. Okay. Hmm. It's similar to things that you've seen in the past. You had to rack your mind a little bit. They're obviously, since magic is very important to everybody, just for getting around and trade and living a good life, there's all sorts of different kinds of magical systems. You seem to recall something about there's a group of elves, um, unimaginatively called the Sea Elves. Every now and again, um, one of them will be born with like gills, um, or at least the ability to breathe water otherwise. Um, and those are the ones that they make into their magic people. They're clever men and wise women. And they apparently came up with some glyphs and sigils and signs and things for use underwater. I mean, who knew that it had to be different underwater? Though, don't cast a fireball there; steam would kill you in an instant. Um, so it looks similar to the sea elf um, symbols that you saw.
But not necessarily the same. You mean?
Not necessarily this. Again, it would be like it's not like
a different dialect of the same language.
yeah, kind of. It would be. It's not like uh, uh, Phoenician letters to Cyrillic, but it's more like uh, if it's two languages, it'd be like Spanish to Portuguese.
Okay.
Right church, wrong pew kind of a
Yeah.
thing. So you're like, and based on that, you think you if you kind of squint and lean back a little bit, this is something along the lines of food plus potential danger plus big danger.
Where is this? Like in the water? Where's the rock?
It's again, it's about 40 yards out offshore, down past the first drop off, and it's below low tide.
Below low tide.
Yeah, it's below low tide, so that the actual wave slap wouldn't take it off.
Can I walk to like where would high tide be? Can I walk to there?
To high tide?
Yeah, like to where
Yeah.
high tide would be when it comes up.
Yeah, it's only a couple of yards away from where the ship is currently.
And would that be like relatively deep where the rock is from like when it was high tide?
Relatively. I mean, uh, it's again, it's a gentle slope and a small drop off and another gentle slope. So I mean, you could walk out there to stand above that rock and probably still have your mouth and nose above water.
Okay.
And it's not low tide and it's not high tide either. You're in a mid tide area.
Does it seem like it's inactive because it's old or for another reason? Like, does it seem to be worn at all?
You're going to go out and take a peek?
I guess.
Okay.
I'll be like,
Cool.
Make sure to hold on to
Beautiful.
the vine thing.
Beautiful. All right, go ahead and give me an intelligence roll, please.
That's about the same, I think. Another 7.
Another 7. Okay. So, and you go down and take a look at this thing. Well, oh, you do see something a little different. This is multiple applications. You see some residue from probably an older inscription that was just food. The sometimes danger and big danger symbols have been added relatively recently.
So those are new.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So something, again, you're not sure how long it would take for this to wear off just with underwater wave action, but it has been reapplied
By this, is the
relatively
hand,
recently.
like, is the inscription, like, width the same for both, or no? Like, can I try to discern if this is done by the same or a different person, basically?
You think it's been put on with a finger, actually. It doesn't look like paintbrush. It looks like somebody went, okay, we got one of these.
In
Got
that
one of
case,
those.
is it easier to discern if it's the same person or a different one then? From the print shape?
Hard to say. There wasn't a print left.
Okay.
But I mean, it looks like it, again, if you can imagine thick finger paint, that's what you're looking at.
Okay.
So,
I will go back to shore and basically, like, yeah, obviously that's how everyone. It seems like there might be, like, I know you mentioned this earlier. I'm like, what's your birdie? What's your character's name?
Nora.
Nora. Sorry. I know you mentioned this earlier, Nora, but it might be a good idea to move farther inland before high tide.
Yeah. It seems like, I mean, if there's danger, like you say, I mean, we could be put more at risk, especially being so close to the the water at night.
Exactly. I worry a little bit more now that I have seen these odd runic languages. But
You could read that, Chicken Scratch?
well, I guess sort of. In a very basic sense of the idea, yes. Only
Well, I'll be.
concepts. But I
It's
suppose
impressive.
the food is promising. If there is one thing I'm good at, it's reading. Librarian and all.
okay.
Yeah, I think the trouble then becomes either trying to figure out a way to secure the Airbus ship somewhere offshore,
Yes.
moving it, or somehow anchoring it as we move further inland, as the tides change and it rains and we experience any kind of inclement weather here. I wouldn't want the ship to drift out all of a sudden and leave us completely stranded here.
Well, I'm not the strongest, but whiskey looks to be pretty strong, so maybe if we worked
Yeah.
together, we could pull it in a little bit.
Do we have any hatchets among the group?
I
Like
have,
anything that could be used to cut down a tree?
well, I have my dagger, but it's not exactly a hatchet.
Yeah.
Captain Gletta does have a couple of like basically it's an old boarding axe. You'll have to sharpen it frequently, but yeah. Lever, give me an intelligence roll, please. Okay. You're thinking, well, after your namesake, simple machines. What do we got? We got lever, we got wheel, we got screw, we got inclined plane.
Yeah.
Pulley. The word pulley is singing in your mind.
I mean, if we wanted to roll the ship further inland using logs or something of that sort, could also be
Exactly.
used to help with some of the weight.
I picked up with the calculations, but I don't think that I'd be able to cut down many trees.
That's all right. And I don't mean any offense, Leva. I know you were speaking with one of them the other day, if I remember correctly. So I think that's an option, but I wouldn't want to presume.
Lever like leans in and it just goes, "The one I was talking to was not helpful."
Kind of rude, if memory serves.
Yeah, he was. I think he was so excited to get to talk to somebody for the first time that he started spouting off his life story. Wasn't it what it was?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
So he wasn't answering questions.
No.
Senile.
What
He
are you
didn't.
applying, Lever?
The dude's senile. He's already on the chopping block, so they say in my town.
I see.
Rather
No.
morbid saying now that I think about it.
So I'm hearing that you want to chop down some trees for rollers.
Potentially.
Okay.
And that would be
Ask
whenever we choose to move the boat
We should
further
probably
inland.
do so
If we can
sooner
just
rather than later.
Yeah, I think first off, I'd like us to establish where we're going to set up camp.
Yes.
Because if somebody can like scout ahead and go there and start clearing the area, we don't all have to be here working on moving the ship.
Could we perhaps try to find an area
If we want to split up again.
Since we know this is an inhabited island, could we perhaps try to find an area that's a little bit more sheltered, more harder to see, so that the other inhabitants don't rob us again?
Well, I don't know if it was the inhabitants that robbed us. It might have been some of the little aquatic creatures that we haven't really seen yet.
Well, I would presume those also are technically inhabitants of the surrounding area, at least.
Fair. I feel like I remember, Owen, you saying that like the northwestern side of the island was more craggy on the
Yes.
shore, so it wasn't as like hospitable.
Correct.
So yeah, because I know we obviously found certain features
Yes.
Mhm.
on the island as our exploration like group, but were there any spaces that we can remember off the top of our heads that would serve well as like maybe a base camp that isn't like I'd be thinking
We don't want to
an area that's well, I wouldn't think about dragging the ship all the way there.
No,
I would
but
just
I'm
want to
saying
drag.
we should probably make a camp close to the ship because we already know things are taking stuff, and we don't know what took it. So
That's true.
theoretically,
Yeah.
something could take the ship, and then we would really be in trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, let's see. It really depends on what your priority is. You know, you've got a water source. Moving close to a water source is never a bad idea. You've got you're in a fairly the ship is in a fairly protected bay currently. Gletta is looking at high tide marks and says unless we get a really big one like a spring tide, not the right time of the month for it. So should be okay on that for a few days, at the least. So that buys us some time. So high tide is only going to be like 10 yards away from the ship at that point, but not washing anything away. Let's see. Again, the majority of this island is covered by fairly heavy growth, tree growth, undergrowth, that sort of thing. So very lush, lots of birdsing, and small creatures running hither and yon. You do have higher ground up above that ridge of large hills or very, very small mountains, however you want to describe them. If you're looking to hide the ship, that would be a different story. If you're looking to, again, access to food, I know at least one of you was putting out snares.
I
Those
think
seem
that
to,
was
That was Owen.
yeah. So that seems to be working pretty well. So what were you? What's your goal? What's the?
Well, I was thinking we want somewhere that's like harder for other people on the island to see us, at least. But
Oh,
maybe it would just be more
Yeah.
beneficial to stay in like a place with a lot of trees that's really close to the beach.
right.
Yeah, because I'm worried that it's just going to be too difficult to move the boat too far inland.
I think it would just be more efficient to just stay close to the beach.
I mean, if I can talk to Glada, I'd be curious to know if the ship has any kind of like anchor aboard that we could just secure and just set up a camp that's a little bit further inland and leave the boat, but like still be close enough to it.
Well, yes.
I really don't want to leave the boat, though.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just
I
saying
would
if
leave the
if we
boat.
aren't successful in moving it,
I think
Right.
I want us to have a okay.
Right. There is an anchor. It's specifically designed as like a skyship anchor, so it's a lot more hookier and a lot less weightier than a boat anchor. But yeah, it wouldn't be problematic to lash it up and put some tension on it at the base of a tree so the ship wouldn't be going anywhere. It would take some work to unload everything that's on the ship already that that he doesn't want damaged or stolen. But yeah, if you can find a good place to camp, yeah, we can. I mean, everything's portable, so
All right. Perhaps we send a group to clear the area first, like you suggested.
Yeah, I was thinking. I mean, I know you and I, Entropy, were part of that original exploration party, but I don't know if there's anybody else that wants to go out instead. Because I think I'd probably stay here to help move the
It would
boat
be
or help
more
with any efforts
beneficial.
here.
If it'd be more beneficial, Whiskey and I could go find the place to go, so because Whiskey could help with the clearing and I could make sure we didn't get lost.
beautiful.
That sounds like a plan.
Would that
Okay,
be all right with you,
I can help
Whiskey?
you with that.
All right.
Yeah, I can just stay by the boat, help around. Things like that.
beautiful.
Yeah, I think, Lever, if you've got ideas in terms of basic machinations to make this any easier on us, I think that would also be helpful.
Yeah, I can start tinkering with stuff.
Beautiful. Okay. So the two of you who are going to go out and scout a location, that's basically two parts of a perilous journey. One is the scouting to make sure nothing bad gets a drop on you, and the other is actually the trailblazer, which is looking for good locations. Both of those are going to be a wisdom roll. So unless you have anything about your background and history that might make it a different um, type of approach. But pick between the two of you who's going to be looking out for dangers and who's going to be scouting for a good site.
If it's okay with you, I'll do like the navigation aspect of it.
Okay,
Scouting.
I'll watch your back, little miss.
beautiful.
Thank you very much.
All right, so both of you go ahead and give me a wisdom roll, please.
Well, that is a 12 for me.
Beautiful.
Figure this out. Sorry. Which do we roll?
Wisdom.
Oh, which dice?
2d6 plus your wisdom bonus, or you can just click on the circle with your wisdom bonus on the character sheet. Oh, okay. Whiskey, were you the one keeping your eye out for danger?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, mark experience, please.
Oh no.
Okay, so,
Dear.
Let's
well,
see how this goes.
you hear a sound, Whiskey, a sound that you have never heard before. It's sort of a cross between a roar and a cough. If the cough was from a giant. And it's off up ahead of you. And then you hear a scream. Doesn't quite sound human scream. And a crunch. A terrible, terrible crunch. The screaming stops instantly. What do you do?
Can I tell what direction it came from?
Yep. Up toward the highlands.
Oh, look at these trees. The hard
Alright.
word is just perfect.
Miss Entropy,
Yes.
I
Oh,
suggest we go the other way.
but look. It's the ground. It's lovely and luscious.
Okay. So,
We need
Whiskey,
to
what
go
do you
the
do
other
with
way.
what do you do with your architect friend?
I'm just kinda like,
Librarian? Or
I'm sorry,
sorry.
librarian friend.
you know what? We've been walking for 5 miles. The ground looks just as lush here as it did back there. If we go that way, I bet the ground is so much more lush.
All right. If you think so, then
I really do.
I'll
And
follow you.
and the last information you get on that one, Whiskey, is you smell something. You get downwind of it just for an instant, and then the wind shifts. You smelled a lot of fresh blood and something that smelled musky. Not like a skunk, but a definite large animal stink. And again,
Glad I stayed at the beach.
yeah, it was,
Please.
yeah, but yeah, something big is out there. All right, so you hot-foot it back to
Oh,
the
sweet,
beach.
sweet entropy.
Glad I stayed at the beach.
Yeah, me
Okay,
too.
Lever, go ahead and give me an intelligence roll to see how the process is going.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
Oh, mark experience. Okay.
Oh,
So the problem, Lever, the problem is always an artist is only as good as his tools. Okay. So you make the thing and it breaks, and you make the next thing and it's perfect. It's designed wonderfully and it breaks. And you make this one, the third one, it's great, and everybody tugs on the rope and it breaks. So you're just like, so you've been you're pulling your fronds out and just this whole back to the drawing board thing. So progress has been very slow. All right. So Entropy and Whiskey come back. Whiskey's looking a little pale there, Thera. You're not really sure why.
And I have
Can I go
bouquet
up
of
to her?
flowers in my hands.
Y'all
So
ever fought a
with
bear?
my healing experience, am I able just like off the bat to see if it's like a sickness or if they're just like scared?
Fear. Looks like they've had a scare and are trying to hide it.
And you said that was
Whiskey.
Whiskey. I'm gonna walk up to Whiskey and be like, "Hey, what happened out there? You seem to be a little shaken up."
Well, sorry, I gotta find your character's name.
Sarah.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Thank you. Miss Thera, you ever seen a bear?
A what?
A bear?
Bear?
One of those large things
Not
from the zoology
really.
books.
There is a bear in those there woods.
Okay. How about we take a breather for a minute and
What
you
bear?
explain
Where?
what exactly exactly like what the bear was doing.
No, wait. Where was the bear? I didn't see a bear.
Repeat
Can I
that?
tell them like exactly what I heard?
Sure. So whiskey describes a some sort of large animal snarl, cough, roar, growl thing. And the sounds of predation. Something got caught and was screaming in pain, and there was a sickening crunch, and all sounds ceased. Whiskey smelled a cubic ton of blood, fresh blood, and smelled a musky animal stink.
What? Could I ask?
And it was
Whiskey?
right. It was. It was.
Plants, right?
Yeah, bears are omnivorous. It was fairly close to the site that Entropy said would be just perfect for a new campsite.
Yes.
Of course it was.
And I have a question. I would have asked Whiskey, was it a humanoid scream or like an animalistic scream?
I think it was described as
More
not
like-
quite human.
Not quite human.
More like a weird goat.
Yeah, could have been a goat. Yeah,
Okay.
could have been a goat. Could have been a deer. Yeah, you haven't seen
A
any. but-
weird goat.
yeah, could have been a goat. Could have been a deer. Yeah, they.
Oh,
Yeah.
those
There's
are
a lot of
weird.
things.
No, I'm just picturing the goat scream, you know?
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I can't watch that. I laughed too hard.
Oh
I
my
laughed too
god.
hard.
Perfect. The whole video is perfect.
I
Oh,
suppose if
God.
there was a bear near the place we were looking at, that wouldn't work. But
What I
So-
love is the implication that Entropy heard none of this.
yes.
In the zone, you know.
But I
Like fully just a goat scream
Yes.
within earshot.
Yes. Ah,
Um,
oh gosh. Oh gosh. No, last time I watched the video, I scared my cat. I was laughing so hard. Yeah, it's a scream, literally. All right.
Oh,
I
So
suppose it
um,
means our venture was a bit
there,
less valuable, but at least I have some of these. I'm sure some of these flowers are probably edible.
let me
And at
see
the very
those
least, they're very
flowers,
pretty.
and
yeah.
let me see some of those flowers. Can I tell if like they
I'll give
are
them to you.
actually like edible or that?
Yeah, give me an intelligence roll.
Intelligence. Okay.
It'd be just so funny. If they're just like deadly nightshade.
Deadly nightshade. Oh well, look at the time. I must go.
Full party wipe because we didn't know what plants were edible.
Hey, just
Entropy's-
remember.
Entropy probably knows enough about plants to not grab.
Oh yeah, I
I
believe
mean,
Entropy.
Probably.
I am a like gatherer healer,
Right.
so
Just remember, folks, all fungus is edible. Some is only edible once.
It's
So-
a once in a lifetime experience.
Exactly. Yes. Give a man a fire, and he's warm
why
for a
is this
day.
not
Set a man on
rolling?
fire, he's
Anything
warm
is
for the
edible
rest of
at
his
least
life.
once.
Oh my gosh, Owen, that's so
I mean,
dark.
it's true.
Why is
been
this not
factored there.
rolling?
You can also do a slash
How do
R.
I roll?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
either you can use the die rolling function over to the left, marked with a D20, and you get to pick which dice to roll. Or I believe it is /R. Let's see, 2D44. There we go.
What dice is it to roll
44.
an intelligence check?
It's
44?
all. It's D44. It's all 2D6 plus modifier. True story. A friend of mine got me as a joke a 34-sided die with your bonus.
Okay, let me double check. I don't think I have a modifier, but let me double check. Intelligence. No, I do not have a modifier.
Okay, beautiful. 9 is good. Yeah, you've got the plants and other things. You've got some mosses here that would be good to thicken up a soup. You've got some shoots from some immature trees that are going to be nice and tasty. So yeah, there's probably another. Oh, there's probably another 2 rations in there if you want to keep track of that. By the way, are any of you acting as the quartermaster of your little crew here, keeping track of all the food?
I can, since I'm the one who kind of knows
Yes,
what's
please, Sarah.
edible and what's
Please.
not.
Okay.
Please.
Beautiful.
We
Okay.
need you.
So
So how many
More.
rations How
So,
many rations
Eligible.
do we have?
At least
well, you had
Currently, we had what?
at least 4.
Well,
Right.
days worth. I know we had at the top of today. We all marked off more rations, so we had enough technically for one more day's worth, not including the food that the foraging group had gotten the day before.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
so now I don't know what this adds up
I
to.
think we
All
have
right.
3 days worth. I could be wrong.
A 3-day tour, 3-hour
Might
tour.
be two.
Okay.
It might be 2 days because because I don't know what you mean by like 2 rations. If
Okay.
it's like 2
I'll
persons worth.
I'll explain. When I said you had 2 days worth of food left, typically when you're on a journey or when you're making camp, you consume a ration, and that's basically enough food for one person for a day or one person for a period of time. There are ways to stretch that out. So when you did your initial assessment, when you crash landed, you had 2 days worth of food. So that's for the 5 of you plus Captain Gleda. So that would be 12 rations total.
Well, 6 of us, technically,
Oh, who was the
plus
6?
Glada. Ern.
The one that's not here.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ryan.
Ern is the Ern the
Ern's just sitting there.
He is the
is the
trapper.
trapper. Okay, so Ern actually disappears off into the undergrowth, setting some
Trusting that
traps.
he's doing his job.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So there'd be 7 of you. So you had 14 rations for the 2 days. I think Ern brought back like 4 rations worth of animal products, and everybody brought back like 2 or 3 rations worth of vegetable stuff. So that that got you up to 3 days worth of food. Then Thera cooked, which added 2 days to that. So again, let's call it. You started at 14 rations, and again, everyone needs to consume 1 ration per day. So you got 14 rations now, plus whatever you just brought back. So now you're at 16 rations. Start there, and when Ern comes back, we'll increase that number, we hope. And if you all decide to start making big meals and eating them together, you could probably stretch that. Okay, so what's everybody else doing? Lever is currently working over his just encyclopedic knowledge of curse words in at least 3 languages. What is everybody else doing?
Well,
I think I would. Oh,
no, go ahead. I'm just saying, we should we stay here for the night or try to walk towards
I think
the bear?
that.
Maybe not
I
towards
think
the bear.
staying here for the night might be the smartest choice.
Okay.
At least for the time being.
Okay, it is pushing noon now.
Yeah. So we still have the rest of the day.
Yeah, plenty of time.
I think I
How
would
long
ask.
is this beach? Like left and right of us, how long is this beach? Like how long?
Well, if you consider, let me do this. Okay, you probably can see some faint grid lines on there, yeah? When you consider
I
that the
zoom in,
whole,
yes.
yeah, when you consider that the whole space there is a 10 by 10 block of real estate, 10 by 10 miles. Okay, so the island is only it's only 3 miles wide and about 3 miles north, and basically a rough rectangle. So, yeah, that's several miles of beach curving in and out. I would say that based on that, the creek that goes up to the waterfall is only about a mile from your base camp. The southern tip of Dolphin Island there where it flares out, that's about a mile and a quarter past the creek.
Okay.
And as the crow flies between you and the shipwreck, it's almost due east, just about a mile up over the hills.
Okay. And which way did they go, like, to, like, where they found the bear? Was it towards the spring and the
Oh,
waterfall?
okay.
Yeah, can we mark that on the map?
I can mark it with some yellow and red for danger. And do that.
Just
thing.
red, don't go
Yeah,
here.
it's it was basically
Blood. There was a lot of blood on the ground, so.
what is that?
Red
It's
for blood.
somewhere
It's
in
really
there.
such a shame. It was absolutely perfect.
Oh, that's
for camp.
close.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Absolutely
close.
perfect for camp.
yeah, it's less than a half a mile from you.
And
That's not good with how close that potentially that bear might be to us.
Oops, sorry.
I mean,
Put it on the,
That's not good.
do you think
put
we
it on
can
the
take
wrong.
a bear or convince it to leave us alone?
You know, I once had an uncle who
Let's
took a bear
not
with his
try and
bare
fight the
hands.
bear.
He did lose his eye,
Just think
but the
about
bear's head is on the wall at home.
Think about it. Bears are like a lot of
That's
food,
wild.
right?
It is, but if you think about it, there's a larger group of inhabitants already on this island. Yes?
That's true.
That's been here. And they haven't killed the bear.
This is true. This is
Maybe
true.
And
we
they're-
should try and walk along the beach towards the spring and the waterfall and see, is the boat able to like be sailed like around the edge? Like if we wanted to kind of go around that little lip of the dolphin and go down, is the
Sailed is
boat able to
such
do that?
sailed is such a specific term.
Like
Basic,
travel.
basically, the design of most airships is they still kind of look like ships because in the event you go down, 7 out of 10 of these places are going to be mostly water. Okay, so an airship is basically its own giant lifeboat in the event. So yes, it is seaworthy. It is technically can be used as a watercraft. Um, and But the problem is propulsion. Um, you'd have to rig up an actual rudder because an air rudder isn't the same as a water rudder. And it doesn't have a place to set a mast. It doesn't have a place. Yeah, it would be very, very difficult.
Okay.
Quick point of fact,
It'd be road.
we are at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In my copious spare time, I also am a superhero. I'm called Too Much Coffee Man, and the coffee signal has just alerted me. So if we could take a quick bio, we will be back
Yeah.
in 5 minutes or less.
We will be
And
back.
hey, faithful viewers, thank you so much for watching us. We appreciate you deeply. See you in just a bit.
And everyone, please consider chatting, and we'll respond to you. We'll get back to you after this bio break. Thank you.
Huzzah. And welcome back, folks. The No Theoretical Bias presents. Well, let's see what happens here. They're going on a bear hunt. No, they're not. The bear is hunting them.
Oh no.
Maybe. All right. So
Oh no.
we have an unknown large creature predating on unknown other large creatures. We've got a rapidly aging tinker, currently questioning all his life choices. We've got a shook rancher who is, if she had a, I'm sorry, if he had a shotgun, he would be loading it right now. So yeah, we're all a little tense here, and no closer to solving the mystery of who stole your stuff, and getting close enough to knife you all in your sleep too. That's kind of fun. All right, so what are you doing?
It's always fun.
It's about noon.
Entropy, do you think it's worth going back to the shipwreck camp and just trying to make contact with whoever else is on this island?
It might be, but unless we take the long way around, we'll have to go right through the bears' territory. I think it could be worth it. They didn't seem to be overly aggressive, but the fact that we haven't seen any other life. Hopefully.
I mean, the fact that they haven't come to find us.
No, but I don't know if
Also,
I'm not sure if they know that we're here. It's not like we made a large entrance.
I mean, we left a note, but if they can't read it, that's not helpful.
That's true. There's certainly no harm in going back and trying to make contact with people that know the area better, especially if they know what the creature hunting is.
Yeah, I was just thinking that there's safety in numbers.
Yes.
And until we have more of a secure camp, I'm just a little worried being this close to that large of a predator.
If they're actually here time, though, we should make sure to see if they have any of our items on us, because although we searched their area, we would have no way of knowing if they took them or not.
Yeah, and we also didn't look super closely, so if they had any like hidden compartments or places that they store value, we wouldn't have found it. Something I was also thinking about is just, I don't know if are there like sticks around that could just be sharpened to make some kind of spear and things like that, so that we have more than just the small, like hand-to-hand-ish weapons that we have now. Just something that can keep something back.
Sure.
You know?
You could go real old school and get saplings or other long sticks, long green sticks, not the dry ones, and fire harden them into points. Again, very old school technology, but again, anything that keeps the body and soul together. Who did you want to put in charge of spear making?
I'm not sure if Ern or Whiskey would be best suited to this. I mean, I can try my hand at it, but it's not exactly something that I have much experience with.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to learn, though, even if it means just watching somebody else do it and then starting to do it myself.
Well,
or I could just try and figure it out.
Lever.
Actually, I had a question. Wasn't your character's occupation a jeweler? Or did that
Mine?
change? Yeah.
I'm an architect.
Architect, never mind. But if you're an architect, you might be good with wood in general, so.
Well, things like stressors and how much weight something can hold, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so probably the one with the most handy skill would be Lever. If anybody wants to assist Lever in this role.
Sure.
I'm going to use a rule called improvised weapon. Okay. And improvised weapon, it's an intelligence roll. And if you do well on the roll, you can modify said weapon to be something other than a club. So, who wants to take a stab at an intelligence roll, and who is interested in assisting them on the roll if they need it?
I can do the intelligence roll.
Beautiful. Does
And
anybody
I'll
have any?
assist.
Does anyone have bonds with a lever currently? Not currently. Okay. However this shakes
One
out.
pending with whiskey, but we didn't
I'm,
figure out what that was going to be.
I'm sorry. What?
There's one pending with whiskey, but I don't
Oh,
think we figured out what that was going to be.
okay. So do
Yeah.
you have the bond with whiskey, or does the whiskey have the bond with you? They don't automatically reciprocate.
I just see that I put whiskey in bonds, and I don't remember why.
Okay. Okay. We'll figure that out before the end of this session. Nora, if you're going to be helping Lever out, however this plays out, it's going to take long enough that you are going to have an opinion of our young fronded friend by the end of the, you know, again, you want to learn about somebody, do a group project with them. Oh my, you'll know them better than their mom. All right. So, Nora, go ahead and give me an assist roll, just 2d6, no modifier.
4.
4. Okay. Go ahead and mark experience. That means anything truly bad that happens, you're the one in front, unfortunately.
Yep.
All right. So, Lever, it's up
That's
to you.
okay.
It's up to you, my little carbon-based buddy. Go ahead and give me
You get a little
an
more than a
intelligence roll.
paper cut.
Yes. It's an aluminum foil cut. Ah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Go. Alakazam. There we go.
Alakazam. Okay, 7. Let me give you the rules here. So basically, if you need a weapon, there's something around that might work. Its current tags are hand, stun, and improvised. Okay, those are tags. Again, with most of the gear in any of the PBTA games, it's not what the weapon looked like. It's what tags it has. Okay, so on a 7, you get to pick one of the following. All right, on a 10 or better, you can pick 3. So either it can actually hurt someone, so you can remove stun and actually do some damage. It won't fall apart easily, so you can remove improvised. It's well balanced. Well balanced means you can add precise as a tag. Precise means you can use either dexterity or strength to attack with it. It's a good length, which means you can remove hand and add close. So as opposed to being about this long, it's good sword length. Or it's really long. You can remove hand and add reach. Or you can pick that it's small, heavy, and there's more than one. So you remove hand, you add the thrown tag, and 5 uses. So you get to pick one of those. What would you like?
Good length.
Good length. Okay, so currently
Because
we've
the
got
point was we were wanting to keep stuff away from us, right?
Would
exactly,
that be good length or really long?
probably really long.
But you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, really long.
Yeah. So reach. So it's reach, it's stun,
What I
and
wonder is
it's
if it's
improvised.
really long, is it more fragile than if it's just good length?
Um, in this case,
No.
no. In this case, no.
Okay.
So the good news is you've got a bunch of slim wooden staffs. The problem was when you were trying to work up the fire hardened points, it just kept burning off the ends. Okay. So they're not great as spears, but they would be able to let you keep something more than arm's length away. So, and you can as soon as you take some time to find some new or different materials, you can try that one again. All right, so that took a little bit of time. It's now early afternoon. What's everybody else doing?
If wait a minute. If Nora was wondering if we should go back to camp, I could go back with like Farah or with Whiskey.
To the shipwreck
Yeah,
place?
while they're making the things just to scout out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done doing that.
How did you want to get there? Do you want to go north around the Horn? Did you want to go south the way you went originally? Up over the hills?
The bear is more north, and the camp is more south. So let's go like south, like a 50-degree angle.
I was gonna say, can we just go straight east?
We could, but that would probably run immediately into the beast.
I'm down. No, I'm joking.
I'm down. I didn't see it last time. It's not like I'll see it this one.
Hey,
Juno's like, I have to show you where this perfect camp could have been.
Yes, I do.
Hey, Whiskey, do me a favor. Give me a spout lore roll, please.
Okay.
Oh, I can't stop yawning.
And then which one is that? How do I find this?
Spout lore is usually intelligence.
Oh, okay.
It looks like I'm going to have to go back in and add some moves to a bunch of character sheets, so that's not a problem. Okay, so we are looking at 8. All right. Well, Podner, you know some things. You know some things about ranching, and you know some things about critters that predate on large animals. Anything big enough to one crunch a four-legged prey, big ungulate, deer, goat, cow, whatever, it's going to have a big range. Okay. You don't know of a single predator that's like, oh, I'll just take over this city block. They're going to need a big range. So the fact that it or they or whatever killed something about a half mile that way, there's not a lot of real estate here. So if this hunter has got a range, you're in it. Probably no place on the island would be outside of that range, depending on how big this thing is. You're kind of interested in figuring out what it ate, because that might give you an indicator. So, who's heading over to the shipwreck?
Entropy and the
Entropy and Thera. Anybody else?
If we're interested in what it ate, we can always go check out that really nice spot.
I mean, I'm interested in going back if I have time.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have time. Whiskey, were you at all interested in?
If they want.
Okay.
I don't want to leave Lever here alone. Should we all just go?
Well, no.
But I don't want to leave Glada here with the ship alone.
No, Captain Glada things out in the woods. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine right here. This is I can dig a hole, pull it in after me. It'll be great. Me and the little guy will pretend to be bean sprouts. We'll just be like,
we might need whiskey. We might need Whiskey's expertise if we're going into this territory.
That's true.
Most likely.
That's true too. Gleda says, I no offense, I can hide pretty well if anything comes. So I'll or climb a tree, So I'm good.
I just thought if Lever's like being hunted or that, he can just bury himself in the sand and it just looks like a plant.
And can you imagine how disappointed it would be? What if it's like, a pack of wolves or something, right? And they bite Lever and they're like, you ever give like a
what is this? I'm not a vegetarian.
Yeah, you ever give a pit bull like a piece of broccoli? You're like, oh, come here, Fluffy, come here. I'm not. what is this cruel hoax? That sort of look. All right, so
One of my dogs, we like tossed a piece of lettuce to her, and she caught it in midair, and in the same movement spat it on the floor.
yeah,
It's hilarious.
everybody's a critic of my cooking in this house. I feel you. All right, so you're going to basically, from what I'm hearing, you're going to sort of parallel the beach for a while, and then cut in and around, try to avoid the kill site. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that was the plan.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. This is going to take a trailblazer roll, just because everything is so overgrown here. So anybody who wants to find a good pathway from point A to point B.
I've been pretty good at finding the paths, you guys.
That's true.
I'll give it another go.
All right, go ahead and give me a wisdom
What
roll.
is this?
It's
it's a wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's actually called Travel Trackless Wastes. Basically, it's a wisdom roll. Again, there's a scout, there's a trailblazer, and if it's long haul, there's also a quartermaster.
7.
But we'll get to that. 7. Okay. So it takes about as long as you thought it would. You do find some game trails up here, probably deer or goats. That's the good news. The bad news is, since you know there's a large predator in the area, sticking around on the game trails is probably a bad idea. But just this once. All right. So you make it to the top of that ridge there. There's a couple of peaks, but you make it to the top of that ridge. What do we call that? A focus ping. Bing, right there. And you make it to the top of that ridge. And you see something you weren't expecting. As you're climbing up to the top there, and again, it's a short, direct hop, but you don't want to do that because there's cliffs between you and the shipwreck. It would be, it's not the fall that kills you, it's a sudden stop at the end. So you are going to have to go around and down, but you see something approaching your island. Okay. So you're all in the underbrush looking out from under trees and things. You're up nice and high. And there is an airship approaching. Do any of you know anything or would have any reason to know anything about airship design?
Maybe.
Okay.
Because it's so integral to this setting. I could see where architects would also have to be
yes,
there might be some overlap.
There's like a D100's chance I know anything about anything because
that's true.
I was gonna say, has Entropy read any books?
Yeah. So go ahead, Nora. Go ahead and give me a roll. Entropy. If you want to do an assist on Nora,
I will.
You can.
But also Entropy's like, guys, that might be our.
Is it just a flat roll?
It's
or is it spout lore?
It's intelligence, spout lore.
If that's a good airship, that could be our ticket home.
That is an 8.
An 8. Okay. Nora.
Wait. Because we have a bond, do I add a bonus to that?
Yes.
Yeah, we do have that.
So, however,
okay. So that is it's a 9.
Oh, 9. Okay, beautiful. Well, so, you get a +1 bonus to your roll.
Yes, the 9 was with the +1 bonus because I rolled.
Gotcha.
A 7 +1 from int +1 from entropy.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. What did you roll, Entropy?
Oh, I didn't realize I was rolling. I thought I was just assisting.
You roll. That's a roll to assist.
Plus intelligence to 10.
No, you don't add intelligence. You add your bonds. Your bonds with Nora.
I don't add a modifier.
The modifier is your number of bonds with Nora.
Okay, so then it's just a 9.
9.
Well, no, it's an 8 if I don't add my intelligence. Sorry, an 8.
Okay, yes, that's still a +1. Okay, so 9, solid. Again, you've got a layperson's knowledge. The impressions that this thing gives you are fast, This is a sailed vessel, so it's got a lot of characteristics of a regular sailing ship. It's got a fairly short keel, so probably only deck and underdeck. The paint job on it and the sails are of some concern to you. Someone has gone to the great time and expense of getting dark, dark blue sails. And I'm sorry, it's more of a dark purple. And has painted the top half of the structure that you can see in a gradiated dark to lighter to lighter to lighter. The underside of the keel is painted a very, very pale blue, almost white. And that reminds you of something, not Nora, Entropy.
Yeah, I'm more likely to know history necessarily than you.
Did you study any biology?
Biology?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. That paint job reminds you of an animal.
Oh.
Dark on top, pale underneath.
I repeat the description to Whiskey, because Whiskey might know more animals than me.
Like a manta ray?
Could be a manta. Yeah, mantas are dark on top and what? Yeah, that's
There's
definitely a
also
part.
whales.
Whales do the
That's what
same
I was
thing.
thinking. Whales.
Uh-huh.
Allowed to give an answer.
Sharks, definitely sharks. That's the impression you get is shark.
Sharks.
And a fun little factoid there, Entropy. You remember why?
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a sea creature that's dark on top and light underneath, anything under it looking up is going to have a hard time seeing it against
The sky.
Against the water, the surface. Anything above it is going to have a hard time seeing it against the darkness underneath it. I wonder what kind of
So
person would paint their ship so that it would be hard to see from above or below.
Do you think they could be bandits?
Smugglers, pirates. Yeah, smugglers are pirates. If those exist in this setting.
Oh, mercy. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Cattle hustler.
I
Cattle
don't know
hustler.
if we're at liberty to decide who rescues us, but it might not be a rescue.
All right. So the airship is heading directly toward the shipwreck.
Okay, look like they're landing.
A shipwreck.
Yes. The shipwreck.
Is this a smuggler's hideout that we found?
You tell me. It's set up for short-term stays. Short-term stays, a lot of storage areas, obviously been in use.
We should definitely hide so we can get a better look.
I think we should hide and try and just watch and see what happens.
Is the ship
very, very quiet?
You're actually under very good cover here, so all it would take was to be to crouch down, basically. So this airship, it's fairly long, slim, and whoever's running this ship knows what they're doing. The sails tack perfectly. The ship, which is heading in straight towards you, starts to drift off to the side, and it's still slowing. They left the sails so that they can catch the wind going the other way. Slowing. That's when the ropes come up over the side. Okay. And 5 or 6 or 8 humanoid type people leap over the side, thick leather gloves, slide down these ropes like they've done it a few dozen or 100 times, and tie down the ship so that it's not going anywhere. Actually, some of them have pulleys like detachable pulleys that they tie around trees, and they're more people are coming over the side, and they're hauling on it. Depending on what they're using for lift, and there's 4 or 5 things that could be. There's obviously some change in the buoyancy of this thing, and they basically haul it all in until it's below the level of the hills. The sails are reefed expertly. It's only got 2 masts, and you're a little surprised, but maybe not, when the masts come down. You can see people in there unseating the masts and laying them down, and basically covering everything over with tarps and lashing the tarps into place. The tarps are all sort of camouflage colors. From where you are, you're actually looking slightly down on them. They're just beyond the shipwreck camp there, and they snug down this vessel. A gangplank is run out to a place where, now that you look at it, there's a few scuff marks there. They've probably done this a few times. And a tall, broad-built woman, probably human or something close, nice broad hat, and she looks all business. She strides down off the gangplank onto the island like she owns this place. And while the sailor types are locking things down and battening things, she and a couple of shipmates head over toward the shipwreck camp. What do you do?
Can
Partners?
What do you say?
I don't mean to cause any alarm. Didn't you leave a note?
Can I try
And there-
and,
We did. That's why I want
sneak-
to. That's why I want to watch and see what they do. Because if they react in alarm, like I don't know,
Yes.
Can I
they
sneak
could be
closer
our, they
to
could be
get
our
a better
opportunity
look?
out of here.
But what
Yes,
if
you
we...
did in fact leave a note. A very nice note.
We did leave a note, and it was a very nice note.
But
Yes.
perhaps we
Just
should retrieve
explaining
it.
the situation.
Can
We
I
explain the situation and that we don't mean any harm.
But if we're caught working with pirates when we return to the mainland, I don't want to go to jail.
Can we
Oh,
sneak? Can I
I
sneak
think
closer?
they'll understand.
Jail would be the least of your worries.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
They don't yes. What do they say?
Well,
Pirates only dealt
at
with
the very least,
Can we try and
you read
sneak
you
up?
read a go ahead.
I
Can
would.
we see like inside the boat from where we are? Like to see the like
The
reactions to
opening is on the
things.
top,
Yeah, the
so they're.
openings on the top. Entropy, you do remember a wonderful legal summary. The judge said they shall be treated as wolves are, and may the gods have mercy on their souls, for rest assured we shall have none.
We certainly cannot
That's-
work with pirates. Perhaps we should retrieve that note.
Tee-hee. All
I
right,
ain't riding back with no hustling.
okay. So you're looking down off you're above the cliff face, and you're looking down. This is an expert crew. They are moving it and doing it like they know what they're doing. They unlimber a second gangplank next to the first one, and they start bringing things down: boxes, crates, bales, barrels, etc., etc. Until there is a shout from the campsite. The tall woman with a hat comes out. She's got something in her hand.
Oh no.
Oh, boy.
Looks paperish and note-like, and in the light, she apparently goes over it, and
Uh-oh.
so
I'm.
gives a
Nora's
short.
going to pull out her craft knife, but not move at all, like trying to hold as still as possible.
Beautiful. So, the captain, because nobody would listen to anybody this well unless they were the captain. The captain lets out a couple of short whistles. Basically, everybody puts the thing down that they were carrying and hustles over to her.
Oh, dear.
And approximately 20 sailor types, each one looking slightly rougher than the next, all competing in the world's worst broken nose competition. And all all in the running for finals anyway. This is a hard-bitten crew. She says something to them in a low voice. They there's 4 groups of 3 that break off immediately. One heads up and around the bay on the to the north. One heads to the south on the beach. One of them heads up that trail that ends up at the spring, and one of them heads up the trail a little ways and disappears. Indicators are they're not going to the spring, but you have no idea where they are. And in moments, they all disappear from sight.
We need to go.
So that was 12. The remaining 8 are there with El Capitan, actually La Capitana, I guess. And she rather unconcernedly goes back inside the ancient ship. A couple of the other sailors follow her, and the others are taking up watch positions in various places
When
around
they go out,
the
do
camp.
they have did they all grab their weapons?
They're all armed to the teeth. You see a lot of cutlasses, a lot of daggers. One person had like a buckler shield and javelins, crossbows, some of them that look fairly ornate. A lever. You're like, that crossbow has got so many pulleys and levers and things on it. I could probably shoot a toothpick through a blue whale. That's a heck of a device down there.
I have 2 ideas. The first is that we run back to camp and tell everyone. And the second is that we try to steal the ship from the pirates.
I was thinking, do
You
any
think
of the
that we can
pirates
take?
stay on the ship?
What was the question?
You
Do
think
any
we
of the
can?
pirates
You think we
stay
can
on the
take
ship?
the ship from them
Well, they all left.
and leave
It's
Gladder
about-
here?
No, we would have to go around for Gladder because none of us could fly a ship.
Owen, I think there's like a vibrating coming from
Yes.
your.
Yeah, my phone is around here someplace and I can't find it. Let me mute for a second while y'all talk. Feel free. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Speaking in very hushed whispers. Just
Can
like-
we please take the ship? This may be our only way out.
Okay, but
Can
can
we
any of us
please
Only
actually
if you're
fly it?
willing to fight, and 9 pirates for it.
Can we fly it fast enough? Can any of us fly it long enough to get to Gladder? Gladder?
Oh, absolutely
I
not.
don't even know if we can operate a ship that large with only 5 people.
I'm sure
It's usually manned by 20.
I know the barest of minimums about ship piloting. If you could get it off the ground.
How many people were left at the ship? Because I know a lot of them ran off in all
It was
directions.
8 sailors and the captain
But keep in
are
mind, they're
currently in the shipwreck.
They're in the shipwreck, not in the ship, so the ship is left unattended.
I'm also curious, Owen. The thing is some of them took up lookout positions. They're not all inside the ship.
No.
And also, I was
so-
gonna ask if they like closed the opening to the ship at all.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Can we use
Okay.
lever
Those gangways
as
lead
a
directly
way
to
to
the
get
ship.
on the ship? Can we use
Okay.
lever as a way to get on the ship? Because he can camouflage pretty well with the greenery.
True that. All right. So the situation you have before you, you're up on top of a cliffside. Okay. The fastest way there would be a 40-foot drop to at least a broken ankle. Unless you had some rope with you.
I do.
You've got pirates heading, or sailors heading north, sailors heading south, and 2 groups of sailors heading into the woods. South of you, but again, game trails, etc., etc. Your note, if memory serves, kind of sort of specified where your ship was.
No,
we just specified that we're on the island now, and like we don't mean harm, and we want, like, it was basically like, hey, we're here, we crashed, we need help.
Yeah.
We mean you no harm.
Gotcha.
Just want to alert you of our presence.
Gotcha.
Is there this game's equivalent of an insight check?
I'm sorry, what?
Is there equivalent of an insight check?
What information are you trying to find?
With the, like, is the pirate captain sending them out maliciously to kill us, or
most likely
how have they interpreted our note?
That would be
realities.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. Hi, I found a note from some people that are here, and we don't particularly want people here. Okay. There's 4 search parties out looking for who left this note. Okay. You don't know what the consequences are going to be if and when they find you, but they are very interested in finding whoever left this note, and they are looking everywhere currently.
All
so
right.
you could draw what conclusions you want.
If there was any way that we could create a diversion away from the ship,
I could
to draw
some trees
the
on
ones
fire.
that are here, lure them out, and have the rest of the people try and like get onto the ship. That's the only way I could see viably trying to take that ship from them.
Okay, so in ship news, you don't know if there's anybody left on the ship, since they covered everything over with tarp. It's not like flat to the deck, so you don't. I mean, it's the gang rails. There's about this much of a gap, so and now it's in full shadow. So there could be any number of people still on board this vessel. Again, you've got 5 people that spread out, some of whom you can't see right now. Apparently pretty good at that whole hidey scouty thing. So you've got eyes on approaches to the ancient vessel. Let's just call it the shipwreck camp.
Let's hope Owen is sneaky enough to stay out of sight from the rest of those parties that just went out.
Right. And you do have Captain Gleda, fat, dumb, and happy, sitting on top of his ship a mile or so away, who knows none of this.
I could set a fire to create a diversion.
I was gonna say, I have dried herbs. Does one of them make like a weird looking fire?
It would take a bale of them.
Well, like you'd put it with a bigger fire. You know, those like little packets you put into campfires, and it makes them all pretty colors.
Right.
I was thinking that one of the herbs could do that.
I mean, I don't know if it'll work. I've only ever done it once.
Also, I do have bandages. Can those act as a rope?
About 12 feet of rope.
Enough. Yeah, I was like, it's not long enough to get us down the cliff face.
I do have some. I did bring some with us.
This is not good. If they find us, they might likely try to kill us.
Should I set the fire? We're running out of time. We should decide if we're going to try and steal it or go back for the captain first.
None of us can drive.
And also go back for Owen.
Yes, that's true.
And also, even if we get on that ship, we'd have to like take tarps off of things, and like it's not like getting into a running car. Like it would take time to get it away from the ship.
No. It's like taking the open engine, jump starting it, closing it, again getting in the car and starting it.
Right. And as Whiskey pointed out, the one person who knows how to drive the car is a mile and a half away.
Yeah, so we need to go back.
Right.
What do you do?
Maybe a
Oh,
couple
damn.
of them
hoping
go
it-
back to
What
get
if we run right into where the bear is, so that it follows us and disrupts the people following us?
You're going to draw aggro on an unknown carnivore in its home. 10 out of 10 for style, right there. Minus several billion for good sense there, darling, but 10 out of 10 for style. No, it was over there.
Entropy.
Sorry.
We
And it
don't
was making
know.
noise. And I said I found it. So, TV.
I was gonna say, can a couple people go back and try and get Greta, and like one or two of us stay here to keep an eye on the pirates? But I
Sure.
like Entropy's idea
Sure.
better. I like
That
Entropy's
is-
idea better though.
Who's volunteering for the run through the jungle, and who's volunteering for staying in the lion's den?
Well, I suppose since it was my idea, I can't ask anyone else to risk their life, despite my legs being a little short.
Can I go with Entropy
I
just
mean,
to make sure she doesn't die?
That would be much appreciated.
Oh, damn. I'll stay. I don't know. Do either of you have
Do either of us have what? Sorry, you cut out.
weapons?
I have a
No.
dagger.
You all have really cruddy spears with very bad points.
Perhaps I
Lord.
could try to make my feet a little faster with magic.
Oh, man.
I don't know if it would work.
Okay.
I really don't know if it would work, but I could certainly try.
Feet
I
a
mean,
little-
but
a
even
little
if we find Gladder, we have no idea where Ern is, and that's my biggest concern. We'd just be leaving him here.
Well, he would be with her, I presume.
I presume he would be with her.
Yes.
With Gladder?
Yes.
Gladder,
Owen? Yeah.
yeah.
Be with
Very
Glad.
possibly. Ern seems to be the type of person who doesn't mind going off into the woods for a while by themselves, and has had some measure of success in coming back with some food. So literally could be anywhere on the island that would support a snare. So
But it's
Right.
around midday, and if they see a giant bear creature chasing me, I'm sure they'll know what to do.
you're going to try and go and scare up the whatever it is.
You're
Yeah?
going to go past the bear. You have no idea how big this thing is, how fast it is.
Mhm.
It could be significantly faster than both of you.
Yes, just remember, use the buddy system. If attacked by a bear, throw them your buddy.
No, I don't.
Don't have to
The
outrun
thing
you.
is, the reason I thought of this is that I don't believe we could take on pirates on our own either.
And you think you could take on a bear?
No, the bear is going to attack the pirates for us.
Sure. Yeah, that'll
I
happen.
don't think you understand how a bear works.
Pirates and shipwrecks and bears. Oh
Oh
my!
my! TV. Well, can somebody write a song? All right.
Oh
So
no!
What are we doing?
what are we doing? What's going on?
I think we need to at least go back and get Glada
Yes.
and hope we find Owen on the
Yes.
way.
Hope you
Yes.
find
I
your
will
own-
think
stay
we should
here
go
with. I'll stay here with Whiskey and Lever because I think the less people that are running through a forest, the better.
And perhaps
Wait, I'm not even there.
Yeah, Lois
Are
not
you
there.
not here? Oh, that's
No,
right. You
Lever's
stay back with Clara.
perhaps I can.
Oh
There's-
no! So it would just be me and Whiskey.
Yeah.
But perhaps you and
Well-
Whiskey could get to work on getting the ship to a point
Okay.
where we could.
I'm not stealing a shit.
Point of fact. The one of you four, the one who knows most about animals is Whiskey. So
And if
Just
Whiskey isn't
take-
going to
Maybe
steal
Whiskey
the ship,
should go with Entropy. Maybe
Okay, I'll
Whiskey
stay
should
and
go
help
with Entropy.
steal a boat. I'll
Yes.
stay and help
Okay.
steal a boat.
that might
It
be
was
better.
your idea, Thera.
It might be better since Whiskey said that they didn't want to steal it themselves.
okay.
Are we actually going to try to steal this ship?
It's not exactly theft if it's from
Please
pirates.
do not steal the boat.
Wait, okay.
You
if
think
the
we can
people-
steal the ship?
This is gonna sound dark. Can we trap the people inside the shipwreck
No theoretical
via
bias.
like?
No theoretical bias against it.
Like
There it
highlight.
is. The show
Yay.
title has been dropped.
Yep.
We did it,
Yeah.
everybody. We can go home.
I haven't done my pun yet. I haven't done my pun yet. Do you know the difference between a pirate and a buccaneer?
What?
A pirate is somebody who attacks shipping, and a buccaneer is a really lousy price to pay for corn.
That's what I was gonna say. It has to do with praise.
Oh no, that's so bad.
So,
Dad jokes.
yeah, I've got a great one. Yeah. I bought somebody a broken drum for Christmas this year. You can't beat that.
Oh my gosh.
Tee. All right. So, and before you all expire from internal injuries from my puns, you
Psychic
have,
damage.
yeah, psychic, emotional damage. You all have some
Emotional
huge,
damage.
huge. I've created a monster. Yeah, you got some. Oh, we got problems right here in River City. Capital P that rhymes with P that stands for pirates. Oh, we got pirates. Okay, so nobody knows that term. Thank you.
Stands for pool.
Exactly. Hey, Music Man. All right. So, what you gonna do now?
So it seems like we're going to split up into 2 groups.
Okay. Split the party. Always a good idea.
Always
I'm
a
sorry.
great idea.
I'm an
I
actor. I'm an actor. I can say this. Splitting the party is always a good idea. It's just,
Yeah,
it's
obviously.
known. It's
Well,
just
the
like
thing is,
first
we
you
have
do-
to go back
These
to
are
our...
fact proven to cause
Okay.
success.
Splitting the party
Okay.
has never been a bad idea.
I think yeah, exactly. Just because it's a bad idea doesn't mean it won't make for a great story later. That's a horrible
We're keeping
idea.
this
What
story
time?
going.
No.
But
So,
Entropy would say, my worry is that if we continue to get separated, then at what point will it be? Like, if we get to the ship and you are not there anymore.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so currently we got 2 parties. You want to make it 3. Who is staying to observe the poor sailors blown off course? You know. Okay, so you 2 are staying. Whiskey, you and Juno, which here's Entropy. Whiskey, you and Entropy are going to hotfoot it back to your camp to let everybody know that there are people on the island.
Yes.
Before you go,
Yes.
if everything goes incredibly south, if you can make your way, I don't know if the sea caves would be a good place to meet up. I know that they were going towards the spring and the waterfall, but it could be a place to shore up if we get split up, if we have to run for it. Just trying to agree somewhere to meet up so that we're not just searching the island wildly for each other.
Wait,
and constantly missing each other.
Where's the first group going? Because we could either pick a place where none of the groups are going to, or we could pick the first place they go and hope that they don't circle back.
Well, they're all getting sent out at once. One was going to the north, one was going to the south, I believe.
Yeah.
And then 2 more were going into the woods.
Yeah. One was heading north up the coast and probably around. One was heading east and then probably south and around. One was heading straight up the route toward the spring. And the other one was hot on their heels. The implication was they were going to split off someplace, maybe, but you didn't see that happen. So
We might check the sea caves, but I don't know about a place to meet up at the moment.
That's a good one because everyone knows where it is. Also, was the captain a sea elf?
Was the captain what?
A sea elf.
Oh no, he's the captain of this vessel?
Yes.
You're thinking some
But you said
variant,
likely from human.
some variant of human. Tall, broad-shouldered, nice hat, hair done up in a queue at the back. Nice armor, nice weapons, nice gear. Yeah.
Well, we don't have a moment more to waste. So.
Okay. So while you're watching their observers, you do see a couple of the sailors come out of the campsite. They hustle it over to the other vessel and start offloading things. They're bringing them down, and they make an
How many of
order.
them you said?
Just two. They're making an orderly pile. When they get tired, they whistle. A couple of people come in off the lookout positions, and they take over. The two new people are starting to move stuff from the side of this ship to the side of that one. It looks like they've got a process down that still keeps eyes on the forest and the water.
Entropy
All right.
says, if we're not back in like 2 hours, then go to meet at the springs. And if you have an opportunity to take control of the ship, do it after it has been emptied, so it's lighter.
Beautiful.
Also, not spring, sea caves, because we know that there's
Sea caves.
one group that's at least directly going to the spring.
All right, then the sea cave sounds like a good plan.
Gotcha.
And let's go immediately. I'll go
Okay.
ahead and
Also, I'm going to be keeping an eye out around us as well as looking down at the camp in case like scouts are starting to like make the way around the area. I don't want anybody sneaking up behind us.
Beautiful. Okay. So first things first, whiskey and entropy.
yes.
One of you is going to give me a wisdom roll, and the other one's going to give me a roll to assist your compatriot here with that wisdom roll. So, do either of you have any bonds with the other currently?
Not yet. We haven't had the opportunity.
Okay. And which one of you has the higher wisdom roll?
I believe
Definitely entropy.
D. Yes. Probably
All right,
me.
So go ahead and give me that roll, please. Whiskey, you can give me just a straight 2d6 to see if you can help.
10.
10. Okay, don't even need it. Whiskey, don't even roll. Can't get better than 10 at this point. Okay. So your goal then, Entropy, was the fastest route back to your campsite.
Yes, because we need to beat them
Correct.
there.
Okay. Excellent. Second thought, Whiskey, give me a wisdom roll, please.
You're the navigation. What's a little librarian in the woods doing all alone?
Okay. All right.
What do we get?
You get a couple of things. You're hot-footing it back toward camp as a direct route as you can. There's a small clearing that you're approaching, and you step on something that snaps and look up to see in the clearing ahead of you is at least one. You can see one of these sailor types, and the sailor's head whips around and sees you, and he opens his mouth to shout. Something comes out of the underbrush. It's a reddish gray blur, just wham, and the guy doesn't even get a sound off. This, whatever that thing was huge. It was really, really fast. You did not get a good look at it, but it went from the clearings about the size of a good sized kitchen, basically. And he looked over, sees you, opens his mouth to shout, and something nails him from the side. And you hear crashing through the underbrush. There isn't even a scream. But you also don't see his other two buddies.
I think we're making good time, don't you?
Yeah. Whiskey, mark XP, please. What do you do?
Miss Entropy, I think we should
Yes.
hot put it back.
We can't go back
We didn't
now.
see anything. Let's go.
We see what? What happened?
No, back to the camp.
Okay.
Go faster.
Entropy, you saw that happen too, by the way.
Okay. Yes, let's go faster.
Go faster.
I'll try to run.
Okay, so
Can I
again, the attack happened from your left to the right, and then apparently whatever it was ended up off to your right. There's some crashing through some brush and a crunching sound.
I take my spear, and as we duck to the left to go around it and straight towards the camp, I'll throw the spear like behind me to try and create a different sound in another direction.
Whiskey, you know enough about predators. If it's eating, if you're not going to bug it.
Yeah, that thing is
probably-
distracted. We just gotta book it.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is distracted? Okay.
Oh yeah, it's crunch, crunch, crunch,
All
crunch,
right.
crunch. Going through
If someone
bones.
played a hot
Yeah.
chicken run between you,
Yeah.
played a hot fried chicken right before you, you ain't gonna be focused on anything else.
All right, I
Okay.
guess
Eating
that's
that chicken.
true.
So Lever, you and Captain Gletta are talking about various things. Gletta seems to be. Gletta's kind of interested in you. It's just like trying to figure you out. Well, I heard tell that there were some plant people around, but I just I never met one. I mean, blah blah blah. So his questions aren't offensive, just ignorant, but you're shooting the breeze. And that's when Entropy and Whiskey come pelting out of the forest. What do you do?
Oh my goodness.
It's time to go.
I'm really out of breath.
Can we tell them what we saw?
We need to. It's big and it eats people, but there's a ship and we need to go.
Okay, so the story comes out. A ship of questionable provenance has arrived. Lots of competent sailors, including a fairly competent captain and/or pilot. When they found the note that was left behind so sweetly, they immediately dispatched 4 search parties, 3 people each, to come looking for something, probably all y'all. And they're only a mile and a half away from you as the crow flies. But, yeah, you're not really sure their intentions. And their ship is painted in 3-dimensional camouflage, basically. If you're above it, it's hard to see. And if you're below it, it's hard to see, which usually says, pirate, smuggler, that kind of. So, what do you do?
We should go. Come with us.
Okay.
We need to regroup with the others. Let's take everything of value from the ship.
Okay.
All right.
Guys, they're about to take that boat. They can't
Nope.
drive that. We gotta go.
There's a problem. You can take quote unquote everything valuable off the ship. Your little Airbus here, with a few exceptions. Probably the 4 of you could move the main boiler, the main boiler for the steam engines that run the propellers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the main heating unit to fill up the hot air bag. But barely. 6 or 7 of you could move it fairly swiftly, but not for any great length. It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's sturdy. And Captain Gletta is really hesitant to leave his ship. He asks a few pithy, pertinent questions, and it's like, I can pilot a ship like you talked about, but I'd need a handful of sailors to fly it. And it settled in, you said? They kind of had to crank it down? Oh, that's probably liftwood. Oh, I've never flown a liftwood vessel before. How hard can it be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Humans do it. Basically, if we get the Seahorse operational again, I can get us home. If we don't, I don't know.
So what he's basically saying is we need to steal parts from the big ship instead of stealing.
Well, we could use some fuel. Basically, I just need something to run the boilers and and heat up the gas bag. But it's got to be concentrated. It's got to be like coal, kerosene. If it was a strong enough alcohol, we could do that. But it's got to be something that'll burn concentrated. And if it's a liftwood sailing vessel, they might just have like lamp oil. And if they're smart, they wouldn't even have that. They'd have like elemental or magical or alchemical light sources to keep. You don't want an open flame.
Yeah.
So
well, it didn't seem. It seemed like they had alchemical light sources the last time we were there. But I did retrieve a little bit of fuel, if I remember correctly.
Oh, the pitch?
Yes.
No, we didn't take that. We chose to leave it.
No, I was able to get a little bit of like.
Yeah, you brought.
Of like.
You brought back a little keg of it. Yeah, he's like, that's. I mean, that's great to patch a hole. It doesn't burn good enough.
But I know there was some alcohol and lamp oil, not much.
Yeah, again, we'd need buckets and gallons of it to get home.
If we can't leave the seahorse behind, we have to take it with us.
Ooh, you said something about sea caves?
Yes.
Oh.
What do you think?
Sink the ship?
No.
The lifeboat, the only way I have home. Thank you, no.
Back out. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
But we could smear the
Wait,
pitch on
you
it.
mean like sink it just over there where nobody's gonna find it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Put it in one of the caves.
I don't think we can make it to the caves.
Why not?
Do we have a choice?
Okay. I can tie a rope to it and you can haul it from here to the caves. With people on board with sticks keeping us off whatever rocks are between here and the caves.
I could try.
We could all jump in and paddle. I've got one, so okay. Actually two. One's for I think I got three. I got three paddles. So, and one of them is going to be needed to steer. If you all want to try rowing 2 miles,
yes,
before people can walk over here, I don't even know.
Oh, it's
I'm open to suggestion.
Perhaps I could try to control the water while everyone else paddles to speed us up. I don't know if it would be successful.
Control the water?
I could try.
You mean get the water to move us?
Yes.
I don't have any better options.
I don't know.
Okay.
But if we all work together, I'm sure we can figure something out.
Hee. Okay, this sounds like an elemental summoning ritual to me, which would be an intelligence roll on your part. Let's just see how much you're going to need. All right, roll for it.
That's not too bad to start. That is exactly a 10.
Exactly a 10. Okay, so, well, entropy puts you to work, drawing a big circle and lines and arrows and, candles and torches and all that. And miracle of miracles, a wave comes up towards shore and crests and holds. It's just a little wave. It's only about 3 feet wide. And it's sort of an amorphous form. And you feel regarded, entropy. You feel something is looking to you for guidance. What do you tell this freestanding wave, Curly?
Please guide the seahorse to the shore, to the sea caves for shelter.
Looks over at the boat. All right. So it flattens itself out, slides under the side of the seahorse, and the seahorse starts sliding down the beach. Stops dead because of your anchor cable. It's pulling. What do you do?
We need to get the anchor up. We need to
Who's doing it?
Someone. I'm not that strong. I'll try.
Okay.
I can do it.
All right. Whiskey, give me a roll, please. Give me a strength roll, yeah.
Yeah.
Get in the boat.
Get in.
I can't see what that is.
Hasn't rolled yet, apparently.
Sorry, I'm struggling.
No worries. That would be a 5. Okay, mark experience.
I can't see it.
All right, so Whiskey goes hopping over there and is just struggling to release this anchor, this sort of half grappling hook, half anchor. Gladys says, "Stand clear!" Grabs the rope on the rail and gives the rope a mighty tug, which releases the
Anchor.
Let's go. So the ship.
That off.
Gletta's standing on the ship as it's sliding rapidly toward the water. Whiskey, you now have basically an oversized grappling hook and about 50 feet of rope, and it's sliding toward the water.
Yeah.
The seahorse rights itself as it hits heel deep, and Gletta and the ship pivot suddenly and start shooting down the coast at faster than a running pace. So the rest of you are standing here on the beach. Whiskey's got a grappling hook.
I grab onto Whiskey, and so Whiskey can throw it at the ship. We gotta.
Is that what you're doing, Whiskey? You tell me.
Can I grab some of the wood
or not be thrown?
Firewood.
Can it be thrown? I mean, anything can be thrown if you're not a little wuss. You know, it's a extra degrees of difficulty, but you can try to hook the grappling hook. I mean, it's kind of sort of designed for it. You want to try?
What are we doing?
So where exactly
why are we
is the
throwing
boat
this?
going right now?
I think Entropy
Towards
is
the
trying.
sea caves.
Entropy is trying to get you to grapnel the ship so it doesn't disappear without you. Is
so
that
we can
what I'm hearing?
along with it.
Oh,
yeah.
well.
Okay.
Currently, Glada's
I
the
got a
only
lasso.
one
I
in
got
the
this.
ship.
All right. Yeah, Gletta's like along for the ride at this point. He's standing up on.
And we need
oh
to
my
stay
gosh!
with Gletta.
Where are we going? Oh gosh! Yeah. So do
I
I
you
feel
have
want
like
a
Whiskey should be good
lasso
at this because they're a
and-
rancher.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're like
Assuming I've used it
lassoing it.
before.
you could try using the other end as a lasso if you wanted to.
Yeah, lasso it.
Okay.
All right.
Cowboy
We're last
Whiskey.
doing this, I guess.
Memento. Which one's better for you, strength or dex?
Probably strength.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength roll then, please.
Oh,
7.
gosh, there we go.
Okay.
Finally.
Time on target. All right. So,
Yeehaw.
you do lasso one of the stanchions on the seahorse, which suddenly pulls you out to sea. Are you familiar with body surfing?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you use your body as a surfboard.
What about Lever?
Well,
Where's Lever?
Lever. Where were you, Lever? What were you doing?
Lever been on the boat.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
probably on the boat.
Okay,
Lever's
probably on the boat.
Lever's smarter than us.
Yeah, Lever knew which way the wind was blowing. Okay, so Whiskey, you're dragged out to sea, and you're basically body surfing. You're trying to keep your head above. It's like very, very bad water skiing at this
But
point.
I'm also
You're
on
just,
Whiskey
oh,
But
Okay,
I'm also
entropy.
on whiskey.
Where's
Entropy.
Entropy is
What-
hanging on to
what-
whiskey.
I'm hanging
What are
on
you
the
doing?
whiskey.
Oh, you're hanging on the whiskey?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a strength roll there, Entropy.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh my god, I'm rolling so well. I think I rolled a 10, but I think, do we have a negative stat? Because if we do, that's my negative stat. It's a 9.
We do
Okay.
have a negative stat.
So partial success. All right. So because both of you rolled in the mid-range yes but category, both of you are being hauled along at speed by a elemental driven boat that you sure as hell hope knows where it's going. But you all have to face a bad choice here. You lose some things along the way. So, whiskey, amongst your stuff or among group stuff, maybe you were carrying some water, maybe you were carrying some food, maybe you dropped something important to you. And entropy, same question. What did you lose when you were suddenly involuntarily water skiing with your face?
I'll lose some of the water supply because we're
Okay.
on an island which is abundant in that, so I will lose some of that.
Okay, lose water supplies. Also lose 2 rations.
Wait,
Whiskey.
don't I have all the rations?
You're tracking all the rations. You're not necessarily carrying them around with you.
Okay.
Okay. Whiskey, what do you lose?
Considering I've already lost my belt,
Oh no.
maybe my pants.
Okay. Point of fact, you still have a belt. You just don't have the belt buckle, and that bothers you a lot more than it should, probably. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You just have
Look
the
at me.
belt left.
Look at me, folks. I'm Peter Pantsless. Yay. Okay. So getting more embarrassing as we go.
I like
All
to
right,
imagine
so-
that whiskey has the belt, just not the buckle or the pants.
Yep. Yep.
Has
Is
the
it
belt.
It's a bandolier now.
bandolier? Yeah.
No, it's a bandolier now.
I mean,
All
at
right.
least they're a rabbit folk. At least he's a
Yes.
rabbit folk.
So, about 10 minutes or so later, the vessel is pushed into one of these sea caves. There are 5 of them there. And it actually gets pushed into the second to the last one, right here. Okay. Not the last one, but second to the last. Because that one is actually the biggest. The seahorse will actually fit in here. Gletta is terrified to have this thing in here with all the grinding rocks, but looking around, he says that high tide is not going to crush us up against the roof. And there's actually apparently some sort of dry, sandy area up and above and over in the back. The minor elemental grounds the seahorse with it's not so much a crash as a rush of rapidly moving sand. But she's aground. And yeah, you're in a sea cave.
Thank you so
Quite
much.
quite a sizable one.
I feel like this is quite the step up from fire, but I thank the elemental.
It nods and disappears into sea foam. Okay, so while that excitement was happening, and you're trying to find Whiskey some more pants. I cannot teach this boy. He has no pants. The rest of
The
you,
seaweed will work.
yes. So, yeah, the ship's crew is doing a really good job of unloading the vessel. Let's see. Nora, you think you see other people on board the ship itself? They're like bringing stuff to the top of the gangplank. You see some shadowy movement in there. Probably 2 or 3 others on board the vessel itself. they'll run up, grab something, come down, stockpile, et cetera, and then the second leg is shipping it over. So there are people on the ship, just as an FYI.
Cool.
And then you two hear somebody coming up that game trail type thing that brought you to the cliff top, heading toward your position. What
What
do
do we
you
do?
do?
Can I climb a tree?
You can.
To
Go
get
ahead.
I
out of
will
it? Like,
also try to climb a tree.
Climbing trees.
A separate
Okay.
tree, not the same
Separate
tree.
tree. Same tree. 15 birds and 5 fruit trees. All right. Let's see. I will give you either a strength roll or a dex roll,
Strength.
unless you can convince me of something else.
I'll do
let's
strength.
go strength. I mean, no,
Okay.
let's go dex because I have a -1 in strength. So I'm gonna
Okay.
go dex.
Go for it.
And it doesn't want to roll. 2d6.
Ooh,
Oh, thank
that's
God.
6.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I
9.
rolled a
Thank God.
6. I can't roll well in this game.
Do you have any bonuses?
Yeah, that's with the bonus.
Ow. Mark experience,
Ooh.
please. Okay. So,
See,
so Thera,
It's been a hot minute since Nora's actually climbed a tree.
that's true. That's true. And it still is, unfortunately. So, you are
Oh,
you are very strenuously trying to climb this tree and not doing very well. Thera, you do climb up high enough that you get above the first row of canopy, so it's you're fairly well hidden from view.
I think Nora will probably just go behind the tree at that point. She's not
Okay.
gonna
Well,
not gonna try.
you would until you feel something sharp pressed against your back right between your shoulder blades. A voice says, "Don't move."
Does Thera see this?
Say yes. All right.
All right.
Okay.
All
So
right, all right.
three of these sailor types have stepped out of the surrounding underbrush. One of them has got it's probably not a heavy crossbow, but it's definitely a crossbow with a nice sharp coral poking Nora right between the shoulder blades. And
Make sure you point that thing, all right?
the sailor says, "All right, hands where we can see them, up over your head. I'm going to take a step back. Now, a smart person, might have a weapon on themselves somewhere, and I'd have to pin them to a tree. Savvy? Don't be smart. Right? I'm going to take a step back. You're going to turn around real nice, and we're going to have a bit of some chinwag. Got me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, so the pressure is removed. What do you do?
I slowly turn around, keeping my hands where they can see them, making no sudden movements. I am not in the mood to get shot today.
Excellent. Excellent.
you
Real
can't
quick,
see me. You
what
can't see
kind
me.
of
Ugh.
what kind of tree did I climb?
Well, it wasn't a palm tree. I don't.
Like, is there
I
something I could drop on them? Like hit
I
one of
think
them in the head
something
and let her run.
I'm gonna ask Owen if I can say that I established this with the group before we split up. The idea that if you're discovered, you don't give away that there's more people.
Yeah, we can retcon that. We can retcon that. If you're captured, don't let on that there's anybody else. Gotcha. Yeah, pines are weird. Conifers don't like deciduous, and deciduous don't like conifers, and they've been engaging in chemical warfare for the existence of both species. So, you are in a. I can describe it. Wouldn't know the type. Basically, a lot of
That's
branches.
okay.
A lot of branches, and again, Fibonacci sequence says once you're up about 5 or 10 feet, there's as many branches below you as there are above. So if you stay still and don't make any noise, you won't be seen. However, yeah, since it's not like a palm tree, there's not going to be coconuts, and dropping. I'm assuming you have a heavy weight. Dropping a heavy weight on one of them, no problem. Dropping a heavy weight on all three simultaneously so you don't get shot might be a problem. All right.
Can I
So,
throw something?
You do have the spear.
yes. I mean, for certain variables on the word spear, sure, you got a spear.
That's true.
Like to
not-
You have the
distract.
pointy stick.
Yeah, you have a vaguely pointy stick, yes. So,
Stabby twig.
so the
It's
sailor.
not even that stabby.
No, definitely a pokey
Just
stick.
twig.
So,
It's just
the
so
sailor.
long. But those things where it's pole vault.
The sailor with the crossbow says, "I know someone's going to have a jaw with you, miss. Hands out, in front, wrists up." And he says, "Schoolboy." And Schoolboy, who is a very fresh-faced, youngster-looking, bouncing his step, little cheeks, steps over with some rope and very expertly ties your wrists together with a leash. Says, right this way, miss. Watch your step. And the other sailor goes ahead. The other sailor goes ahead. Schoolboy is leading you gently down this game trail. And the crossbow guy is behind and looking around.
Yeah,
Sarah,
I'm gonna sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna be doing my best to come across as somebody who is like, oh darn, I've been discovered. I have no source of confidence outside myself.
Okay.
So like trying to seem decently defeated and like going along with what they're asking.
Gotcha.
Trying not
Sarah,
to give away that Thera's here.
Gotcha. Sarah, go ahead and give me a straight luck roll to see if you left any marks. It's just 2d6. 2d6, no mods.
Oh God.
Why aren't you rolling? Why is this one not rolling? Oh, give me a sec. I'm going to use my physical dice.
Gotcha.
I got a 2.
Got a 2.
That's
okay.
so bad.
Mark
I got a
experience.
double 1.
Oh no.
Nice.
That's what happened to me
Nice.
last session, except I had a -1 mod to it, so it was a total of 1.
I got a 2.
Wow.
I remember that. That was fun.
Wowzer. Okay.
Impressive.
So, they're about to leave. The crossbow dude inspects the tree that you climbed up, Thera. Seems to be satisfied. When gets about a little ways down the game trail, he lets out a low whistle. The other two stop, and he calls back to where you're hiding. Right. Squirrels climb trees, right? But they're better at it. They don't leave boot marks on the bark, right? So, you probably didn't know this. I was a squirrel hunter at one time, and I can pick an eye on a squirrel, and I'll put a bolt in it. I can do the same thing for your friend here, or you can come down now. In 5, 4.
Yeah, I'm coming down, but
Okay.
I'm just coming down.
Okay. So the other one, not Schoolboy, this one has got a twisty scar up the side of her face. Yeah, didn't, yeah, it looks very unpleasant. And she makes a give me your wrists kind of motion. And unless you put up a fight, you are also wrist trust and led. And they start heading back toward the shipwreck camp quietly. And strangely, Schoolboy points out anything that you could trip on, and more than once holds like a branch back so it doesn't slap you in the face. Who knows?
Nice kid.
Yeah, trying to be
Aw.
anyway.
Good kid.
Okay, Whiskey.
Running with the wrong crowd.
Yeah. Running with the devil. Whiskey, you swallowed approximately half the ocean on your way here.
Oh no.
And yeah, that you're pretty beat up. I'm gonna say that you're at a -1 to all actions until you get a chance to rest. And Entropy, the only reason you're in anywhere near better shape is you kind of rode Whiskey like a surfboard. So you're both very, very damp and very, very water blown.
Yay.
I think my hair has been dyed blue.
Okay. Lever, you're at liberty to do whatever you want in this oversized sea cave.
Clever's doing great.
Captain Gletta has taken the opportunity to check his vessel and shrugs. Hasn't seemed to spring any leaks, and we got here with everything we started with. What are you doing, Lever?
I have the pitch still. If that's it, we can finish patching it up.
What am I doing?
I'm going to take the sea urchins out of my hair now. And out of Whiskey's hair.
I guess Lever will help.
Yeah. Entropy's like, can I borrow your knife? I have some bugs in my teeth. Gross. Okay. I'm sorry, Lever, you were doing what?
Just helping out.
Oh, okay. All right. So you've all had a chance to rest briefly, and Whiskey and Entropy, you feel back among the living. The sun is going down.
Has it been more than 2 hours for us?
Just barely now, yes.
They're probably going to be coming to look for us back now, so I guess we should just wait here.
Gotcha. Again, you've got a big sandy area here up over the high tide line. Anybody else doing anything while you're sitting here with the ship?
We can't exactly start a fire. It'll draw attention. So let's
True.
find a way to keep warm. Like, if for the last hours of the light, can we put, like, sand in the sun so that it'll stay warm?
The problem is the sea cave is wet all the way out, so there isn't any sand. This is, imagine like a cliff face with a big hole in it. Mm-hmm. You've sailed into that, and all the sand is on the inside covered. There are some other things in here that you can see in the reflected light.
What's in here?
They look regular, kind of blocky and box-like.
Chests? I'll go look at one.
Oh, okay. So you're checking out the recesses in this sea cave. Somebody stored a lot of stuff in here. There are crates, there are boxes, there are barrels. Somebody
Are we all gonna get captured?
Somebody even knocked together some pallets to keep it up, an inch out of the sand in case it gets wet. Yeah, this is some sort of storage. You got like six decent sized crates. There's a chest, like a sea chest, and several barrels.
I'll call everyone and the captain over. Let's go through, see if we can find fuel, because that's all we need to get the ship up and running. And in that case, we can go find the others first.
Okay. If somebody wants to give me a discern realities, and if anybody wants to assist that someone, discern realities is a wisdom roll.
I can do it if someone wants to assist me.
Okay. Anybody who's got a bond with entropy can roll to assist, or you can just roll no bonus. That's fine too.
I think we might have lost them both, actually.
Lost the what?
I think we might have lost both of them.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Whiskey. Copy. Come back, Whiskey. This is red leader to red 5. Red leader to red 5.
Timing.
Timing is excellent. Go ahead and give me that roll, entropy. We'll see if they'll come back. I might be able to bump them and have them come back here. Let's see. How do I do that?
That is a 12.
Disconnect or timeout?
Just disconnect.
Disconnect. And we'll disconnect silver. And we'll see what happens there. You rolled a 12?
Yes, I did.
Oh, mercy. Okay, so if you're looking through this stuff, it's probably going to be like useful stuff or stuff that is valuable to you in the moment.
Yes.
Okay, turns out several of these kegs are in fact kerosene.
Let's go.
Gleda is overjoyed. Okay, yes, let's go. I need to get my boilers refilled. I need to get the fuel tanks refilled. And we need to be in a place where I can fill up the gas bag. Can't do that in here.
So basically, after we refill it, we have to go out into the open water to refill the gas so it can go up.
Yes, and that's going to take a little while.
All right.
And it would be better on a beach, but all right. So, let's see. We got one back. Shuffle. Can you hear us? Father, can you hear me?
I was gonna say, worst case scenario, we have like 12 minutes.
Okay. So you're back. Yeah, you froze there for a second.
I'm here. Yeah.
I bumped you.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is gone, so I'm on my phone.
You're so smart.
We're close.
Okay,
We made it most of the time.
We are pretty close to end of session, 10:18 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, one moment, everyone. If you'll
Several kegs among. Yes. So they were doing a search of the sea cave, found 6 as yet unknown crates, several kegs of high quality kerosene, and a sea chest. And so you now have some fuel. You just need to get the opportunity to be able to use it in a place where you could actually lift off as opposed to inside a cave. The stream is on our real be back stream.
Now it's not, but all the cameras. Oh,
yes. When I got my Discord crashed, so I'm back now.
Okay,
I think
we back?
the campus Wi-Fi crashed.
cameras are just.
Oh my.
We should be all good. The stream is still up.
Oh,
Are we streaming
it's
currently?
light up.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. To recap for anything anyone might have missed. In the sea cave, a cursory search found some stores, 6 large crates, several kegs of fluids, and a sea chest. Some of the kegs apparently are full of kerosene, clearly marked. So Captain Gled is very happy. The only problem now is you need to get someplace where you can see a lot of sky, because otherwise he can't fill up his hot air balloon to get you out of here.
Now, is there anything in the other chests we might be able to use to cause a distraction while the balloon is being filled?
Okay, so your second question is also something useful to you, something that would cause a distraction.
Yes.
Like
a flare or something.
Fireworks.
Fireworks? Perfect.
One of the fireworks are very expensive, so this is a luxury good. But one of the smaller crates is just chock full of fireworks.
Right.
So make a note of that for later.
And I know the other questions are like, what here is not as it seems. What are the other questions, I guess?
Oh, the other questions are. Let's
Says
see.
I have one more, I think.
Oh, yeah, there's
Scroll
four,
up on Roll20 chat,
four
and
or
I'll
five.
be there.
So, what here happened recent? What happened here recently? What's about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or valuable to
Let's
me?
do.
Who's really in control here, or what here is not what it appears to be?
Let's do what is about to happen here, so that we
What
can
is
make sure
about to
we
happen?
don't get in trouble.
Well, that's when you notice some of the chimneys. Um, apparently there was a sinkhole or three around here that that bottom out into this sea cave. Um, Maybe part of the reason why it's so big. But there are some natural chimneys um, up above you. Again, the roof seems pretty solid, so there's some rock there. But you see right at the lip of one of them is a rolled up rope ladder firmly secured on the edge of uh, that sinkhole.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, huh, we're not that far from that spring, are we?
No.
Hmm.
Perhaps we should get.
You
Perhaps
you
we
think
should
you
put
have a
these.
you think you have a pretty good candidate for where search party number 4 was going.
Perhaps we should put these fireworks to good use as soon as we can.
All right, so we are at end of session. This is a pretty good stopping spot since Pauline is definitely in peril. All right, so first up, take a look at your characters. Take a look at your motivations. Okay, all of your motivations, for those of you in the viewing public, motivation, other games might call it alignment, but alignment's a little squidgy. Motivation is an action goal. So if my paladin is good, that's nice. But if they're good, they're going to protect the weak and innocent. And if the paladin protects the weak and innocent during the course of a game session, they get more XP. So each one of your motivations is a motivation goal, an action goal. Check those and tell me if you think that you hit your motivation goal for the session. Let's start with Nora.
I'm trying to figure out what the motivation goal would have been for this session.
Your motivation is pretty it starts the same and stays the same unless you change it. So protect the weak and innocent, use my abilities to better mortal kind, defeat a noteworthy enemy. It's a big
Yeah, I think
it's what
mine is lawful. So I think
uh-huh.
it's yeah.
Okay.
Um
There's a ton of the one you got there is something about defeating somebody in a duel. Um,
mhm.
and again,
Yeah.
I'll point this out
So
to
I
all the
don't think
players.
so.
Yeah, I'll point this out to all the players. If you have got a good motivational goal that you just haven't hit in 3 or 4 or 12 sessions in a row, and you look back over your adventuring career up to this point and you see that there's an action that you have been taking more than once, we can change your motivation, change your alignment, as it were. Um, but that would be an offline thing and we can discuss it. Anybody else have a motivation goal that they think they hit this session?
I do.
What was
My motivation goal is to protect, heal, and help my friends. I believe I did that.
Yes.
Yep, yep. It helped your friends at the very least, so mark 1 XP. Whiskey, what's your goal?
To explore an exciting opportunity.
This
I would say
counts.
yeah.
Go ahead and
Yeah,
mark
I
XP.
think like going to look for the new campsite might count.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting dragged half to death behind a ship with a mind of its own. That's pretty exploratory.
Yep.
Gosh, I just found out how much of the ocean I can swallow. All right, not much. Lever, did you hit your goal?
Well, apparently it erased
Oh,
what
mercy.
my motivation was, so I made a new one of
Okay.
successfully use my knowledge and tools to help the party.
Okay, use my abilities to help others. Great. And you did that, or at least you tried to do that. Go ahead and mark
Yeah.
XP. Entropy, what's yours?
I think my goal was to like improve magic and use it to help other people. But I don't know if
That
I would have beaten it or not, because part of my thing is like I was actively trying to hurt the pirates, so that might not have been a good idea.
I mean, summoning a minor elemental to save your butts, that's pretty,
Yeah.
group
Okay.
oriented. So mark XP for that. All right, next up. Check if you have any bonds currently. I know some of you have some unspecified bonds. And I know I said that Lever and Nora working together, each of you would have an opinion of the other one. So we don't have to discuss we can discuss the particulars offline, but since you both formed a bond this time around, Lever, both you and Nora, mark XP. Did anybody else form a new bond or have a change in bond?
You didn't
Entropy, what do
say
you
that
got?
we could, but do you think that Whiskey and I could have created a bond? We did a lot of activity.
Oh, at this point, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So both of you mark 1 XP. And did you have any bonds that you created or changed?
Could me and Nora have gotten a bond?
They did
Yeah.
get kidnapped together.
Yeah.
We got
Oh,
kidnapped
yeah.
together.
We're
heck yeah.
all in it.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, no.
Together.
It's like the line from Stranger Things. It's like, I'll take the upstairs, you two can have the bed. Sir, we're not together. Oh yeah? That's too bad. You two got the good stuff. Shared trauma. I'm like, yeah, that's not untrue. Okay. So then the big three questions, Tee. Did you learn something new and exciting about the world around you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Definitely.
Everybody mark 1 XP. Did you defeat a noteworthy opponent?
No.
No.
Not
No.
currently. Nope. And did you recover a noteworthy treasure?
Yes, I would say we did.
We got
I
kerosene.
feel like the
Kerosene,
cave
yes.
folks did.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, that's you as a group. Okay. So
Oh, okay.
everybody mark 1 XP because now
Nice.
there is a very small dim light that could possibly be the end of the tunnel, or it could be a train just about to run over your face. One of the two. We'll find out. Then, all right, show of hands, who here's familiar with Stars and Wishes? Stars and Wishes.
Yes. We did that the first time, right?
Okay, I did do stars.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We did do stars, but
So-
not wishes.
Right. I had heard of Stars and Wishes. I didn't realize that my gold star thing was sort of a parallel evolution. Stars and Wishes work like this. Y'all are going to reward 1 XP to one of your compatriots here for any reason or no reason. Usual reasons are things like, oh, that was a very funny joke. We all laughed. Oh, that was really good role playing. Oh, that was a really great idea. I'm glad it worked out, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's, hey, who's close to leveling up? Lever, how many you need? Like 2? Can we all give Lever okay? You can do it that way. You can be mercenary about it if you want. But so I'm going to start with, let's see, who had the worst luck? I'm going to go with Whiskey on this one. Hey, Whiskey, who gets your gold star for the evening?
I think entropy, just because we were really connecting tonight. We were vibing.
Yeah.
Entropy, excellent. Mark 1 XP. Entropy, who gets yours?
I was also going to say Shuffle because I thought it was funny that Shuffle just let me drag Whiskey through the ringer.
No, do that. No, throw the lasso. Why? Oh, you'll see. Work. Yeah, okay, that's fun. All right, so
seawater.
Mark 1 XP there, Whiskey. All right, so Nora, who gets yours?
I think entropy for summoning that water elemental. Otherwise, it would have been so much harder to
Very good call. Very good call. And again, it was
to
one of those
move
things,
that boat.
again, it was one of those things like I had no idea that that's what you were going to do, but hey. Oh, and if you had rolled really low, you would have had to do blood sacrifice. So I was looking forward to that.
Oh,
Dang
roll
it.
really poorly.
Can we go back in time?
God, I have to amputate my arm.
Retcon.
Yes. Thera, who gets your gold star for the evening?
Mine sounds really strange. I'm gonna give it to Entropy just because
Of the bear, right?
the envisioning of getting the bear to chase you and then trying to get it to attack the pirate.
Okay, if you think about it, it did work.
In the world.
It kind of worked.
It technically happened.
But that's some straight up Leroy Jenkins stuff right there. That's crazy. All right, and Lever, who gets your gold star for the evening?
Honestly, it's a tough choice.
What's that?
I think I'm gonna go with Shuffle
Okay.
because Whiskey is hilarious as a character.
Whiskey is so much fun.
Love
Oh my gosh.
No bear.
Whiskey adds so much to the party.
Yes.
Whiskey embodies their name.
All right.
It was so good.
Just the Miss Thera, not Miss Thera, Miss Entropy, like just the address.
So I like the miss for for all of them,
Yeah.
like the polite.
Oh no, can't. A little polite goes a long way. I've been asked by my other groups to award a GM gold star, and I'm going to play this one of two ways. If it was that was a kind of a fun session, you kind of did this, then I'd give somebody a +1 forward that they can spend at any time. Okay, that's just a little hey, pat on the back, you did good. Or if wild and craziness things happen, then I'm going to award an actual gold star worth 1 XP. And I think I'm going to have to jump on the bandwagon here. Whiskey, go ahead and mark 1 XP. We didn't know how much we needed you. Gosh, in the first couple of sessions.
Yep.
Oh, is she froze again?
We still don't know. We need you now.
We'll let them know about that.
Always with us in spirit.
Always. Okay. If there weren't any tech problems, we think we were dead. All right. So now the stars, and that's the stars part. The wishes goes like this. If there was something cool that happened in session that you'd like some more of, give me a wish list. Say, oh gosh, I wish we could have more like, huge problems appearing out of nowhere and causing all sorts of, mayhem and making Whiskey turn white and run like a rabbit. No offense. So, oh no, now all of the Zootopia jokes are just cascading through my head, just uncontrollable.
Oh no.
Yes. Us rabbits. Anyway, so if you have any wishes, and wishes can be, I'd like to see more of this, something that hasn't happened. Oh gosh, I really wish we could get, I don't know, massive combat on a global scale, whatever. If there's something, if there's any ingredients to this little turkey pot pie that we're making here that you want special, let me know. Give me a note. Juno, what do you got?
I want to see an opportunity for Thera to have a barbarian moment as like our healer.
Yeah.
They're threatening. They're threatening. What's it? They're threatening Nora, and I just go full barbarian.
Yes. You could go completely berserk. No, that just reminded me of. We lost somebody. That reminded me of that joke. It says, "Hey, don't play to stereotypes all the time. You don't have to be a raging barbarian. You could be a raging cleric. Cleric of a war god. You don't have to be a horny bard. Be a horny cleric. Like of a love goddess or something. You don't have to be a sneaky thief. You could be a sneaky cleric. Like of a darkness. Because we really need. Because we really need a cleric. Can you play a cleric? Could you please play a cleric? We really need a cleric. That's
it would go along with my motivation. Like me going barbarian to protect Nora, it would go along with my motivation because the first thing in there is protect.
Would. Technically. And she'd try to fight alongside you.
I can see it in my head. You've just done like a healing session and you've put in like 8 hours of stitches. Whiskey's starting, Nora's starting to look like, Frankenstein's creation. And you're like, okay, fine. It's like 12 hours of second aid. And then like bad thing happens. And you're like, do you know how long those stitches took? Scalpel. It was completely unglued on somebody. I can see it.
I also really liked the bear monster. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
That goes along with what I was gonna say is me and Bird getting like escaping from the pirates and then stealing the ship.
Just a two-woman
It's
team.
what did
I just want to escape at
Pope-
this point. I'm
what
gonna
did
try. I
Pope-
don't even know.
Yeah, I'm
was-
taking the ship.
was it Alexander Pope who said a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, try it. Yeah, let's see what happens. So
There's no theoretical bias against.
no
Shoot
theoretical
for the
bias
moon,
against
and
it.
you'll land among the stars.
Well, in several million years of constant 1G
pieces.
acceleration. Yeah. So, Bert, what were you looking for? Stars and wishes.
I think something I really enjoyed was like just a lot happening that forced us to like make some very split-second decisions and just be taking risks as a party, like splitting the party,
Mhm.
and just having to make a lot of split-second decisions was a lot of fun. The urgency of that, but
Gotcha.
also a wish I think is for Nora to get to wet her teeth on combat, or just have the party wet our teeth on combat
To fight something.
Okay.
because
Well, I
that
mean,
that might be
you know.
part of my motivation, and I haven't been able to do it
Gotcha.
so far because we haven't faced any opponents.
Gotcha.
Really?
Well, you will have some opportunities.
I get the feeling.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Kill
And
the
M,
pirates. Get the
wishes.
boat.
Oh, you want to get the
me
boat.
duel a pirate for my life.
Doing
Which,
a pirate captain for the boat.
which happens.
Oh no!
Oh yeah. If you ever look into the
Kill
history,
the
I'm a
captain.
big.
Get the boat.
I was this close to getting a history minor, and one of my areas of focus was Age of Sail. Pirates are fascinating when you consider that they were the first democratic societies and had ship charters, profit sharing. Yeah, they were excruciatingly progressive for the age, and especially when they got to elect their own captains. So,
Theoretically,
And thinking of who was capable of coming to power at the time and like captaining a ship, who
Yeah.
maybe was like not able to in society at the time.
Right. Oh yeah.
hypothetically,
Very.
if we
And it was a straight meritocracy. They didn't care who you were, where you were from. Do you know how to sail? Do you know how to captain a vessel? You're large and in charge. And what was the other one I was going to mention? They even had like retirement. Did you know they had retirement funds? They're
I
like,
didn't
oh
know.
no,
What?
But
you get all
it
mangled up,
explains the buried treasure.
exactly. If you get all mangled up, no, we'll give you an extra share, and
point,
you can
Juno.
go off and like start a bike shop or something. And we don't know, we don't care. But yeah, no, extremely progressive. Yeah, oh, and the other thing was the situation on regular merchant ships was so bad that when pirates attacked, they normally wasn't a fight. And they'd be like, "Hey, anybody want to join up and be a pirate?" And like me, and half the crew would come over and be more pirates. So when stealing and dealing death for a living is a step up from your job, it's a bad one.
theoretically,
Mm-hmm.
if we were to overpower the captain, would the crew follow us? Like take down the
That
captain.
might be something we have to see in game.
Also, I love the
Cat
cat.
camera.
Yes. This is the Jade Prince. Overpower. Let's say that there are.
He has a beard.
Let's say that there are diplomatic and non-diplomatic solutions to every problem, and you can feel free to explore any of them at your leisure. But every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and every action has a consequence. So if you're prepared for that, yeah. So if anybody between now and next time, and please do view us next time, folks. If anybody has anything between now and next time, as far as your wishes go, just put it in the group channel, and I will do my damnedest to make that happen. Oh, last question. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Fun, no fun?
It was very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah,
Can I give a
your
wish?
tracker. Go ahead.
This is kind of they're kind of like two wishes like intertwined with each other.
Sure.
But I want to see that ship get stolen.
Yes.
We just want to see the ship get stolen so bad.
We all
We're
want
gonna
to
steal the ship.
The
See, I
chaos.
can.
Forget murder hobos. We're just,
Yes.
We
you
just
know,
want to steal.
thieves at heart.
Guys, we're just gonna become pirates, aren't we?
Yes.
We're just, we just want a heist. We want a heist.
What was
I'm
the
just
second half?
picturing like
We're-
the moment when they had the grappling hook and were being dragged through the ocean, but like something equally catastrophic. Like they're trying to fly the ship and it's like crashing through the
Guys,
trees.
the
and
chat
stuff.
likes it too. They're laughing. They're
Oh.
telling me
The
they
chat
like
likes
Yes.
it.
The chat wants us to take the.
Give the
See,
people what they
Yeah.
want.
I've seen
I've seen hearts in the
Pirates of
chat.
I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean way too many times, and this is like, no, we'll get you a better ship. You better that one. What? That the British man of war? Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll get you that one.
Gotta love 6 level 0 people trying
Trying
to
to steal
take
a
a
ship
pirate
from a
ship
bunch of
from
pirates.
21 pirates.
And
Okay.
like all
Yep.
of those
So,
modern Star
Yeah,
Trek
but
movies with
chat's
Crash
loving
Land
it.
on the planet and stuff.
Speaking of zero level characters, since this is just a full disclosure to the viewing audience, this is the first time I've ever run a zero level campaign. And they talked me into, hey, let's just start out as like nobodies and kind of build our characters as we go. I will tell you this, with a little bit of research online, not only have I found that one of the characters I have written, the swashbuckler for the Histories Volume 1, L'Emperor's Salon, as available on DriveThruRPG and itch.io. The swashbuckler is a great fit for this. He's very much he, she, or they is very much a laughing and jumping off something, holding off 20 people single-handed while throwing a rose to their lover, kind of half courtly, half shipboard, all buckle, all swash. I also bumped into a bunch of steampunk playbooks. So what I may do between now and next time, I'm probably going to throw a bunch of stuff at you to look at. I know you all kind of had it in your heads which you were shooting for as far as a character.
Yep.
Building toward a fighter, building toward a mage, building toward a thief. We got options, okay? So I'm thinking, since typically in PBTA you hit a level point and you gain a level, I'm thinking I'm going to let you spend a certain number of XP that you've gained up to this point on a skill set. For example, entropy might buy spellcasting. Okay, just basic bare bones spellcasting, or spell crafting, just pulling it out of whatever orifice and throwing it at the enemy.
Yep.
So that you can kind of roll your own on this one. And if we ever get to a point where you've got 3 or 4 starting moves, then you've got a character. You got a first level character all of a sudden. We can go from there. That's still in process in here, and I need to do the math on it since I am neurodivergent. But yeah, character development is going to be happening between now and next time. Questions at this point?
How much XP would it be to like gain like those skill sets?
Okay, go back like 30 seconds where I said I had to do the math on it.
We got
I'm
to do
sorry.
the math.
No. I mean, we'll just think of it this way. When you level up in PBTA, it's 7 XP plus your current level. So if I said for every 7 XP you pick up a skill set, I think that's a little steep, just because that's, I mean, leveling up in this game is a pretty big deal. So maybe I'm thinking like 5. You spend 5 XP, you get a move, a specialty playbook style move. And if and I'm thinking, yeah, and most even that might be a little steep. I don't know. Most playbooks start out with 2 or 3 playbook moves. So if it was 5 each, that would be 15 XP total. I don't know. I'm going to play around with the math. It might be 4. If it was 4, yeah, let's say 4. Just off the top of my head, I'm going to have to write this down anyway. And
Well,
this is.
But it's also something we can revisit. So.
Sure. Exactly. The alpha version of the rules, not the beta.
Yep.
Hey, thank you all so very, very much. This has been an absolute joy for me. I didn't realize how much I was looking forward to this until it was happening, and it's awesome. Viewing public, thank you so much for being here. Anybody who said anything in the chat, we love you. Thank you. You're the ones that we're doing this for, and you can't. There's no such thing as a show without an audience. So thanks for being here. Tell your friends, tell your enemies if you want to not be enemies anymore. And we will see you next time. Look for us on social media. We're going to be doing a social media blitz. And by blitz, I mean I'm going to be begging all of my cast members to tell everybody they know on various sites. So if you see anything for No Theoretical Bias, feel free to pass it along to your friends. And they'll tell 2 friends and 2 more and 2 more and 2 more.
Thanks
And
for
we
all
can
the
get
hearts and confetti.
viral and
Thank you
stuff.
for all the
That would be great.
reactions.
All right. Thank you so much to my cast. I don't deserve you. You're awesome. You're fantastic. And we will see you next time, folks, on No Theoretical Bias Presents Game On.
All right.
Again, it's still boring.